Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Moran and now I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is now episode 423. In this episode, we're going to be giving our Week 9 NFL picks and talking about some pressing NBA topics like Wemby versus Chet has now become a debate out of nowhere.
Montero, man.
Some rookie impacts that are being made right now, like Ryan Dunn on the Suns. I mean, he's playing really well.
The real always know.
And some more NBA stuff. So how you doing, fellas?
I'm doing pretty great. Excited. Yesterday was Halloween. Today we have a Halloween party. Shout out to Alexandra. That's probably where I'll be going after this. And by probably, 100%. Probably is if I leave the show early or not. But I'm excited to talk about some football, some basketball. It's been an exciting start to the NBA season.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait. Derek White's been playing his ass off. Payne Pritchard's been playing his ass off.
Lost to Indiana. What happened?
I don't know. We lose one every 5 games. That's kind of what we've been doing. That game was insane. We were down 20 with like 7 minutes. I just turned that shit off.
Like Indiana always seems like they play so well against you guys.
No, they're our biggest competition in the East hockey.
Yeah, it's like shit is insane. I don't want Drew to leave early, so my day was great. Let's go.
You want to get started?
I don't want him to leave early.
Yeah. So what time do you have to get out of here? 6:35.
The
right now.
party starts at 8 o'clock. Okay. I'm doing us a solid. Probably going to stay here a little bit longer, but we got to lock in.
Okay. So we got like 2 hours, I guess, to work with.
Give or take.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe take.
Okay. So let's NFL pick 'em. We started off with the bang. Texans versus Jets.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Back in the win column.
Now
Cheers.
listen, that was a statement win from the Jets.
You're back?
This
I never left.
This is the part that takes 20 minutes.
Never left. It's crazy.
I never left, man. I was always here for the Jets.
I'll tell you what, you might not have left, but your suitcase was packed. You had your backpack on. You were waiting at the airport. You're just waiting for the plane to get there.
You know
it never showed up.
He was that little kid. I'm running away. I'm going. Packed a bag, sat on the step, just decided, you know what, where am I going?
I was at the airport waiting, and then it's like the love of my life showed up and said, no, listen, I don't want you to go. And now it's the New York Jets for me.
From what you're saying last week to now being the love of your life is kind of insane.
You know, now, Dehls, this is the thing. This is the thing for
Was
me.
that shit even last week? Like,
Last
a couple
episode.
days ago.
Literally Tuesday.
No, it was because
it was Tuesday.
It was a short week.
It was
Yeah.
fucking Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, like, that was
No,
right
it
there.
happened so fast, but I told myself, you know what, this is the last time, and this is do or die for me. And that's where my gambling tendencies kicked in. You know, I gamble a lot, and this is one of those times I said, listen, I'm gambling on my Jets fandom. This is it right here. I'm so confident in the Jets winning. Now, that first half was demoralizing, but that second half, I looked at Jets and I said, I can't lead the Jets, babe. They're going to pull this one out for me. And they ended up winning. You know, I don't know about you, Dehls, but I feel like next year might be our year. Next year might be our year. This year, y'all listen, we had too many one-score losses. We should be 6-3 right now. I'm being dead serious. We should be 6-3.
If we had Greg the Lake from last season, we'd probably be 6-3.
It's a good flip.
And we would still, it would be like a pretty ugly
What
6-3.
games are you winning? I'm curious.
6-3.
That sounds a lot.
The
And if you
Buffalo
say
game
the
and the Denver
Broncos
game.
game, I'm going to tell you straight up that Will Lutz also missed a field goal. So I don't want to hear your kicker being an issue.
All I'm
But I
saying
do
is
think we should
had
have-
Greg the Lake
I
from
do
last year,
think
90%
that-
kicks.
the Broncos game, like, okay, listen, I'll give the Broncos credit for beating us.
Yeah, you guys didn't
But
score.
I think we're a better
touchdown.
team than the Broncos.
Okay.
Like, I think that if we face 10 times, we'd win 7 times.
I'm not, I don't care because we won.
No, I know, but listen, we lost to the Broncos by 1. We lost to the Vikings by 6 points. We lost to the Bills by 3. We lost to the Patriots by what? Was it 1 point?
INT, uh-huh.
I'm saying it's a lot of one-score losses.
Aaron Rodgers just don't
I know because it's not
game.
so much about Greg, but like I'm thinking also Aaron Rodgers in the clutch also sold.
Now,
No,
let
I'm
me
not
ask you
saying
something.
it's just on Greg, but Greg made 90% of his kicks last
Right.
year, and he's making like 65%
Oh,
this
listen,
year.
brother, I'm not going to disagree with you, but at the same time, Aaron Rodgers has been mid.
I know. Yeah, he's had some bad moments for sure.
Yeah.
He was great last game, though.
He was great for the last 2 quarters. I agree.
Well, that's
Second half,
awesome.
he was
Yeah,
elite.
yeah. I mean, listen, that's all that matters. We got us to
Agreed.
win. We should
And honestly,
blew out the Texans.
honestly, second half, I may be being a little bit kind because obviously you have that last second touchdown to Devontae where they're playing essentially cover 0. You're just allowing whatever happens over the top to happen, especially on a short play. 21 points, was that what it was?
Should have been 28.
Malachi Corley definitely should have scored.
It's unfortunate, though. Now I'll never get to reveal the team that I was thinking about.
You can.
Yeah,
I don't think you were
maybe.
ever thinking about it.
No, I already had the team.
I think, you were going to go to the Cardinals?
No.
You might as well just reveal the team.
I thought it was going to be Packers.
No. No.
You can reveal. You said you're staying. Who are you gonna go with?
I was going with the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
100%.
I had a feeling here.
Yeah, I was going with the
That
Packers.
could still be your
100%.
NFC team.
Yeah, that's the easiest
No,
path
yeah,
you have.
that is my NFC team still. You know, I like the Packers a lot. But no, yeah, listen, the Jets won, and I had an epiphany last night. I said, listen, if the Jets are gonna suck, I'm gonna be right there sucking with them.
No cap.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sucking too.
Nah, that moved me. That movie, Riv?
I fuck with that. Fuck with that.
He's going to suck until they finish. No
That was
cap.
he's sucking too, and he kept reiterating that. Yeah, do your thing. Suck it up. Do your thing, bro.
Hey, listen, man, if
Do
your
all
team
types of
sucks, you gotta
sucking.
suck too.
Yeah, I don't
That's
have that
just what
feeling,
it
so I
is.
wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
Yeah. No, don't know what you're talking about.
No, but be honest though, if the Jets had, let's say,
Oh God.
if
Locked
they,
on Jets. Here we go.
if this is the last thing I'll say, if they had Mike Vrabel, what's the record right now? If they had a good coach,
Three and
You'd have 5 wins.
I think, yeah, if they had a good coach and a competent
but
kicker.
Aaron-
Well, you guys now
like,
3-6.
they're 3-6.
against Minnesota,
Okay,
you
so I'll
blaming that
give,
on
I'll give
coaching?
you guys 4 and 5.
The Minnesota loss? Is that coaching or just Aaron Rodgers do a pick at the end of the game?
And also the Bills. Like, I think we also need to highlight.
Like, y'all
Aaron
had
Rodgers,
opportunities to win those games.
Honestly, I think almost every game has been coaching. We've got so many stupid penalties, like the Braylon Allen touchdown against the Bills got
Buffalo
called
game,
back.
I'm not blaming on penalties because it was on both sides. I think your kicker was just ass. that
Also,
game.
Robert Saleh always plays well against
You fired
Josh
him.
Allen.
Your
fired
kicker
him
was
and
ass.
struggled.
Your quarterback
Played
was
well.
relatively ass.
I just don't know what's the future. You know, what if Rodgers comes back, but we actually get a good coach this offseason? I think
I think
can
if we
maybe
have a good
change.
coach and we have the long week going into the Denver game, we win that game.
Yeah,
To me, that's-
we can't
that's
go back
pretty easy.
now.
No,
No,
I mean
we
we
can't.
have fucking.
The Jets
Jeff
have to be
Ulbrich, so I'm not
perfect
gonna
from
sit
here
and-
on out. I don't think it's impossible.
You guys also lost to the Patriots. Like, can't forget that. Like, you guys highlight. You're highlighting the Broncos. You lost to the Patriots too. Like,
just beat the 6-2 Texans.
who were beat up to oblivion.
We're beat up too.
Who?
Jermaine Johnson's not
we've been banged
playing.
up,
He
yeah.
hasn't
I
been
meant
playing for a while.
offense. I don't
I
think
was-
you're
Our
up.
defensive
Because your
backs were
offense was
banged
the
up.
issue.
Nah,
DJ
we're-
Reed and
both of our
Sauce
guards got hurt in that
twice
game.
throughout the game.
Both of our
Yeah.
guards
Texas
are injured.
offensive line is pure dog shit.
Our offensive line has been that great. either
CJ
this
got
year.
banged up in that game too, right?
Yeah, Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers
been
is
hurt,
40.
Oh,
He's banged
Now
up
it's
too.
he's 40.
I'll be honest, bro. CJ Stroud just missed throws.
Now, OD, I saw you tweet that. Who are you talking to?
Nico.
Yeah, you cooked.
Nico who?
Like Lee takes.
Lee takes.
Oh,
Like
No, you
Nico,
cooked.
like Stroud missed 2 touchdowns at least. Like one would have been like a 50-yard play, but
he
he had
did
a guy.
not-
I don't know if
he
it was
did
Tank
not
Dell,
play
but
Number
you know,
8. Who?
Mechie.
Yeah, he
had
had
wide
him.
open in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
No one behind him would have been a touchdown.
It wasn't Stroud's best game.
He had a
for
couple
sure.
plays in the red zone, could have been touchdowns. Like I get it. The O line wasn't great. You're down a couple of your weapons. I'm not taking anything away from that. But he, like, objectively just missed some wide open throws.
So with CJ Stroud now having this type of situation, do we now look back at the Trevor Lawrence versus CJ Stroud debate and have differing opinions now? Are the opinions
I also
changing now?
don't think Bobby Slowick he should get fired.
It should be a little bit of both. I think Trevor definitely got a lot of slack. He wasn't playing well on top of the fact that he was in a bad situation. And these last 4-ish weeks, he's definitely bounced back and played some high-level football considering who he's playing with and the talent that is on the team. You got to give him his respect. But at the same time, I think CJ, although the numbers don't pop out at you, I still think that he's considering situation as well. He's played some pretty high-level football, and his team's also winning games. You lost to a pretty bad Jets team, but your team was also banged up, and you had some opportunities to take the game, and you simply didn't have it. It happens. That's National Football League.
I think it's a pretty close debate. I think
It
Trevor
is.
Lawrence and CJ Stroud. I don't think CJ Stroud was just by far and away clearing him. The situation for the Texans hasn't been good this year. I think the offensive line has been a disaster. Trevor Lawrence has dealt with that for the entirety of his career in Jacksonville. I think there are 2 quarterbacks in similar levels, and when you talk about the situation, if they're both put in good situations, they can give you great quarterback play. But they're both traditional quarterbacks, and yes, they can play make outside the pocket a little bit, but they're at their best when they're winning from the pocket. I think CJ is a little bit more accurate than Trevor Lawrence, but I think Trevor Lawrence has a bigger arm than him. I think there are some throws that Trevor Lawrence can make that very few other quarterbacks can make on the field.
I don't know. I watched that end of the season last year, and just those throws that he has to Nico Collins, they're literally perfect. They're perfect bombs down the field. I look at both, and honestly, they're like you mentioned, they're almost exactly the same. I think maybe Trevor provides a little bit more upside as a rusher. That's about it, though. I think, honestly, I look at the two of them, and they're really similar.
What do you think about this, Riv?
I think the conversation changes up when one has a bad game.
Agreed.
I think walking into this year, we had CJ Stroud clearly above Trevor Lawrence.
I didn't have him clearly above.
I think
I didn't either.
I I don't know. I remember the conversation about it, and CJ was.
I think the public perception, yes,
CJ
it
was
CJ
comfortably
over.
a top 7-8 quarterback. Trevor was not top 10.
Sorry, I don't care about outside, but I feel you.
Trevor was not top 10. I think last year we thought the situation was shit. Then he led Houston to the playoffs.
Cook.
I think going into this year we expected better from them, and even though they weren't playing to their best potential, they were sitting at 6-2 before the loss to the Jets. So Trevor Lawrence has. The Jaguars in general have yet to put a full catalog of a season together. It's always something happens, whether an injury, a coaching discrepancy. Like they just have never been able to put a full season together to really give us that confidence in that team and that organization. But the conversation between Trevor and CJ, I mean, CJ sophomore slump, Trevor sophomore year looked really good in the back end. So it's gonna be a year by year thing. I think. Right now, CJ is just dealing with shit that a lot of other quarterbacks have to deal with, and he's going through his slumps. Same thing Mahomes. Wow. Same thing Mahomes has gone through. Josh Allen has been through. Justin Herbert's probably still dealing with it in his life. CJ Stroud is just hitting that avenue of going through that, and he has to figure out his way. As long as he wins division, though, who really gives a fuck?
Should win the division.
And Nico comes back eventually.
Next week, should be back.
Yeah, so I think, right now, it's just a tough sledding. You got to get through it.
7 sacks is OD.
This was the best
Jets had their
defensive
best
game
defensive
easily.
Sacks.
Hassan Reddick looked great.
McDonald's a star.
Will McDonald had 9 8
Is he all right?
Four. Yeah,
He's
is
good.
all
He
right.
came
Okay,
back.
good.
He
Thank God.
finished the game.
Oh,
and
good.
He was making his impact.
He's
in
had
the game. Yeah.
He can't defend the run for shit, but he could get after the fucking quarterback.
He's Bryce Huff, part 2.
Yeah, better probably.
Hey, I got a game for you guys, and then we're gonna get into the first picks of Pick'em. Player A or Player B? Player A, 60 receptions, 663 yards, 5 touchdowns.
I have a feeling I know where this is going to
Player
go.
B, 30 receptions, 366 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Can I guess A and B?
No. Just give me A or B. Who are you going with?
Player A.
Right.
You going
Easily.
Player A?
You said 600 yards?
The other dude's double.
663.
Player A, for sure.
Is it
So
Garrett
Garrett
Wilson and Tyreek Hill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Would you look at that?
Nah,
huh?
Garrett's on pace for like a 1,300-yard season. He's been fucking amazing.
Never wrong, just early.
He's amazing. Bro.
1,300 is nowhere near 18, though.
In back-to-back seasons.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear about Tyreek Hill's quarterback play.
Why?
Because Garrett
what
Wilson
Garrett
had
had.
Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson, and Trevor Siemian last year.
Joel, you told us 1,600 from Garrett.
He's
Yeah,
on pace for
so.
1,250 and 9 right now.
That's not like.
It also happened once he got a number 1 next to him.
He's been great all year.
He's been
He had 100 the week
He was
before.
really good, really good.
He's been open.
He
He's
has.
just not getting the ball.
But I think now it's being extra emphasized because now he's got a dog next to him, and the field opens up a little bit, which is okay. I'm
Tyreek
happy
Hill has a
with
dog
him.
next to him.
Who?
Jalen Waddle's a dog.
I was gonna say respect him.
I mean,
please.
we're talking about Tay and Garrett. Like,
no, understandable,
Garrett-
and that's where he's kind of losing me.
Yeah, yeah,
but
come
at
on.
the same time, we gotta respect Waddle.
I don't think
Yeah, I
Waddle's a
mean,
dog.
he also Garrett had back-to-back 100-yard games before Tay got there.
I agree. That Buffalo game was definitely a great performance.
And against Minnesota. That was still a great performance.
Minnesota got
Just-
fucking
despite the
7,000 targets.
It was just they wasn't on the same page, but he was still open on them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying. I'm just
1250 is
saying.
cute. It is.
Garrett Wilson, he's one of them ones.
There,
Baby.
1250 is a great season.
Yep.
It's a great season. There's levels.
Shit, yeah.
Well, right now one is on a different level. 300-yard different level.
Now, 300 yard discrepancy is
different
big tough.
tax bracket
What
right
could be
now.
nuts is also you're accounting a game that hasn't happened, and they played a bye. They haven't
said
had.
I mean, who are they
had a
playing? The
bye.
Bills? I mean, Tyreek Hill always plays like shit against the
And
Bills.
then 30 receptions.
Except
more.
when he was on the Chiefs, which
Damn.
he was a dog. But on the Dolphins, he does play
You
like
know
shit
what I'm
against
saying?
It's
them.
in Buffalo, right?
It's in Buffalo.
God bless.
Well, it's not cold yet.
It doesn't even matter.
Agreed.
Yeah, God bless.
I agree.
All right, now Saints versus Packers, Texans versus Jets. Me and Does only guys to pick the Jets.
Saints versus Packers.
took
I mean Saints versus Panthers. Sorry.
Rick,
No,
you took
switch.
the Jets. You switched?
I don't know.
Because you said
No,
Jets in the chat. And I
he,
was
said,
like,
he said Jets in the chat, but then in the app he said, "I have the Texans. I'm going with the
Yeah,
Texans."
but I was thinking like
oh.
last minute, like
let's fucking go. And fuck you, John.
I was thinking last minute. I'm feeling Jets tonight, but then I was like, it's in the app.
I was looking. I
I'm
was
about to
feeling
text the chat
amazing
right now,
first
tell John
half.
to go
Second
fuck
half,
himself.
wheels fell off.
That's because I bet on the Jets. So
I'm also gonna say my record on Thursday night. It's amazing that I've done as
bad.
well as bro. This Thursday shit, I can't win. I think I've gotten one game right all season.
The Broncos one versus the Saints.
Yeah, I think that one, and then Dallas versus the whoever they played on that Thursday night. I think it was the Giants actually.
Yeah, that was a pretty
Yeah, that was it. I'm 2 for 9 right now. 2 for 9, 2 for 7. And had there been multiple games on Thursday? Well, that Thursday and Friday opening day.
You're right.
I got both of those games wrong also.
So this is the first game after that. The Saints versus the Panthers. Now, Derek Carr should be coming back in this game.
If Derek Carr plays,
Yep, give me the Saints.
Should be.
and Bryce Young is starting, that is what the report is. Lock of the week, give me the Saints to win this game. Now, I really was debating between my lock of the week. If you guys don't know, I'm in a survivor pool, and we're doing well. We've made it to week 9. We've been moving very, very nicely. Some might say nicey. However, this one should be a gimme. The Panthers simply are not a good team, and I know the Saints defense is bad. And this is one thing that scares me. It is a division game. Bryce Young didn't look horrendous against the Denver Broncos. I don't think he looked good, but I don't think he looked as terrible as he did early in the season. If Derek Carr's back, this offense should be humming. Alvin Kamara is going to be playing. Olave's going to be playing. This should be a win for the Saints.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints as well. If you have Bryce Young out there, respectfully, it's going to be hard to win some games. If this was Andy Dalton out there, it would have been a lot tougher. I don't know who I would have went with if it was Dalton, but you don't have Deontay Johnson anymore, obviously. Jonathan Brooks also, I was expecting him by this point in the season to play. He's going to miss at least one more week. If he doesn't get activated by Tuesday, he has to be shut down for the season. So it's basically next week or nothing for Jonathan Brooks.
See what I was saying? That's the report I was telling you, that they didn't even know if he was going to play this year.
Yeah, well, if you activate him, you're basically saying he should be good for over the next 3 weeks, and he isn't. But yeah, I mean, Carolina just has too many offensive problems with Bryce Young, so I'll take the Saints.
I feel like Bryce Young didn't look that bad against the Broncos.
He didn't.
There's a chance that they can upset the Saints.
I see it.
And it's because the Saints are not a good football team. I think they've quit on their head coach. Yeah. Hey, listen, injuries derailed their season. They were off to a hot start, and then everybody got hurt on the offense side of the ball. Sure. Half of their starters on offense got hurt. And I think that's what's derailed their season. Now, with the Panthers, what I'm excited to see in this game, I want to see how Jalen Cook plays against those defensive backs. Yeah, Jalen Coker's playing really well. He's a sleeper rookie wide receiver. And the Saints secondary, Marshawn Lattimore will not play. Kool-Aid McKinstry will not play. So there is some vulnerabilities going on with the Saints right now in their defensive play. And everybody's been moving the ball on this defense. So I think this has some upset potential. But with Derek Carr coming back, I'm going with the Saints.
Saints fans are so funny, man. They were making videos.
They were going crazy.
They were going nutty after week 2.
Have they won a game since week 2?
No.
They're right.
Dallas was their last
Carr
win.
went down, to be fair.
Dallas was their last victory. Oh, I'm sorry, Saints fans. Another year
You
of misery.
apologize too soon, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Who apologized?
I definitely did.
I mean, yeah, life. I mean, listen.
That's also when we didn't know if the Dallas Cowboys were dog shit or not.
They still are kind of
They
shit.
are dog shit.
Get ready for the draft, guys. Yeah, Derek Carr's playing, though. I got to say.
Your quarterback scouting.
Commanders versus the Giants. Daniel Jones plays well against the Washington Commanders.
He definitely does.
New York is home.
This is the game I think has upset potential.
It does, right?
It does.
I need it to have upset potential. I need to watch the Commanders lose.
I vowed every week I have to pick against them. I'm going with the Commanders. Commanders coming off an insane victory against the Bears in the last second fashion. And honestly, the Giants offense still has yet to figure it out. Tyrone Tracy cleared to play. That's huge. Did have a concussion, but he's going to be good to go. I'm still going to go with Washington here. I know Sexy's going to leave his impact on this game, but it really shouldn't matter. Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, I do think this game has upset written all over it. First game, Giants Commanders in Washington. That was the game where Giants only scored field goals. They were able to move the ball, but they kicked 6 field goals.
Washington was only able to kick field goals.
Washington would only kick field goals, still managed to win that game. So the Giants did their part. Now that was before we knew how great this Washington offense would eventually become and how great Jane Daniels is right now. So there's definitely some more confidence and just more trust in him in the offense, but he's still dealing with that rib injury, right? And you're also coming off just a super emotional Hail Mary game over the Chicago Bears. Usually when you have that like crazy high moment, you go into the game maybe a little bit too high in yourselves. And divisional game, Giants defense, listen, it has some holes in it, but that front four is going to get pressure, right? Brian Burns, Dexter, those guys are going to be able to get after Jaden Daniels. And if he takes a couple of hits and those ribs start to hurt, the mobility goes down a bit. We already saw last week he didn't have the same, and Tony Romo was mentioned 1,000 times, didn't have the same zip on the ball because it's just, when you have fucked up ribs, it's hard to get that torque when you're twisting your body in your upper half. So I'm taking the Commanders just because I still think the offense will be able to move the ball enough, especially if they lean on Brian Robinson, who I think is questionable, but he's been questionable like every game this season, so I think he'll end up playing. But this game has upset potential to me for sure.
I'd feel more comfortable about this game if Andrew Thomas was playing. And the Commanders' defense has been pretty good the last couple of weeks. I would say the last 4 weeks, outside of the first couple games to start the season, their defense has really turned the corner. They've turned around. And Jerzon Newton just had his best career game against the Bears. He was one of the highest graded interior defensive lineman of Week 8. And I think what's getting swept under the radar is not just Jaden Daniels' play. I mean, we know how good he is. We've been praising him every single week. But it's been how great this rookie class has been as a whole with Jerzon Newton, Mike Sanderstill, Brandon Coleman, their left tackle, who they kind of like interchange their left tackles, but Brandon Coleman's been playing more and more each week. Their entire rookie class has been really damn good, and that's what's led to this turnaround for them. I'm going with the Commanders. It's the safe pick. And also, this last thing I wanted to say about the Commanders, when I was in the midst of jumbling some teams of who I might switch to, the Commanders popped up. And I've seen a lot of Commanders fans saying that I cannot go to their team unless I apologize to Jaden Daniels. Now, Jaden Daniels, I thought he was going to be a bust. I didn't think he was going to be good. But one thing's for certain is I think he's a real deal. And I apologize to Jaden Daniels. So although I'm not switching sides and becoming a Commanders fan, I will give Commanders fans that satisfaction, that gratification, that, listen, Jaden Daniels is the real deal. And I feel like their organization as a whole is turning a corner right now.
Fuck the Commanders.
I get that.
Fuck the Giants. Fuck the Commanders.
As amazing as Jaden Daniels is, I also think Cliff Kingsbury got a bad rep. I think that he's actually a great play caller.
None of us thought he was going to be that good, to be honest.
I think he's a legitimate great play caller. And I think the Commanders hit a lick on that.
I have the Giants.
Taking Giants? Yeah. I like that.
Upset alert. I
like
need
that.
the Commanders to lose. So I'm going with the jinx here.
You didn't put a pick in for the Jets, actually.
Oh, on sleeper, you're
Yeah, it
saying?
said no pick.
Oh, yeah.
So we're
Definitely
counting it
didn't.
a loss.
We are on a collision course to face them in a couple weeks, so I am pretty locked in for that. I've been talking shit to a couple Commanders fans on Twitter.
You've been very loud.
Yeah, hell
And
yeah.
they continue to win.
It's beef, you know?
I
So,
guess, but like you've made it up.
made what up?
Like recently,
The beef.
the beef. Like you've really, I say you've pushed it.
Nah, they're good now, so now it's beef. When they're not good, what are we beefing about?
I get that.
We're beefing for the division now.
But like I don't have beef with the Chargers.
Because I've been asked for a minute.
Yeah, but like I have beef with the Raiders.
Yeah, beef with
I
the
have
Chiefs.
beef with the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs win
they
the division
bend
all
us
the
over
time.
and smoke us.
The Raiders.
But that's what I'm saying. Raiders got our number, except for this last
Washington
time.
definitely gives us aggravating
Fair
pain.
enough. You
There's
know what?
no
That's a
bigger
good point.
beef than the Eagles and Cowboys, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Commanders are probably second. I think they're above the Giants.
The Giants have the second most chips in the division, though.
No, I'm just talking about like right now.
Fair
in the
enough.
Moment.
No,
I think the Commanders have played the Giants.
Commanders
fans,
got to
we-
be last.
Giants fans, we definitely get
Facts.
chippy for sure. But it's all like all the teams hate each other, and like that division is one of like them old.
They got the
school-
smoke, OD.
Yeah, it's like really we hate all of each other. So
I feel like the
don't-
other division like that is the North, the AFC North. That's one of them that I feel like
kinda
all of
same
them hate
vibe.
each
Yeah,
other.
no, I
Facts.
want them to fail. I told them that like I'm gonna root for you
get it.
against you guys every single week.
Fair.
I like this upset pick from Riv. Very ballsy.
Giants Nation, we're here.
Dolphins versus Bills.
I told you guys last time. I'm taking the Bills, and I'm not thinking twice about
Josh
this.
Allen.
What do we
17
think
weeks.
about Tua's comment where he got chippy?
What did he say?
He
I'm
talked
not
about
mad
couch
about
potatoes
it
eating
because
chips.
all people want to do is
What
poke
was
fun
he
at
referencing?
him.
What
He was upset about
The fumble snap, the snap that was high that he didn't
they're
catch.
like
They kicked out the
what
end
do you
zone or
want him to
whatever?
do there?
Yeah.
Like he was trying to make the play, he's trying to get it out of there.
He could have caught that ball though. The snap.
That's another thing that it came in on him hot.
It did.
It can, and also to his offside, to his right arm, not his left arm. I think it was a difficult play. If you want to say he could have caught it, I won't fight you on it. But at the same time, talking about this game, give me the Buffalo Bills. Better team right now on all levels. Every single level, give me the Buffalo Bills. They're just playing way better than the Dolphins right now. And I know the Dolphins are desperate. Maybe that's something to hang your hat on. If you're a Dolphins fan, you think that you can upset this team. But I can't see it. The Buffalo Bills have simply dominated for way too long against them.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned that Tyreek Hill struggles outside of being with Kansas City. Tua has struggled most of the time against Buffalo. Buffalo's a better team right now. Miami, if they don't win this game, you fall to 2-7. I don't know.
2-6.
2-6.
Bye
They had
week.
their bye.
Bye
You're
week.
right. They had their bye. So I guess it's not, red alert 10 out of 10 panic, but it's, red
Yeah,
alert
so
9
they're
out
done.
of 10
They lose
panic.
this game.
Because,
done.
for the rest of the way, you could really only lose one more
Because
game.
they're not
two
winning a lot
max.
of games in that back end stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, I'm taking Buffalo. They're the better team right now. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills, and I kind of feel bad that I didn't take Arizona last week. I felt like that game could have gone either way.
Miami being at home to a first week back, desperate to win. I don't blame you.
They had that game in the bag, and they
They
just
did,
gave
yeah.
it. He said, "Here you go, Cardinals, take it and go."
But I'm going with the Bills. I think they're a much better team. I think the Dolphins really have not been good this year, even when Tua has played. And it dates back to last year in the second half of the season. The offense is getting figured out around the league, and there needs to be more adjustments made. I think Mike McDaniel has to do a better job. I think Tua has to do a better job. I think everybody on that team. And the defense, without Zach Sealer, their run defense is non-existent. And he wasn't present for the Cardinals game. And they had some success late in that game running the ball. And I attribute that to Zach Sealer not being there. And he's not only their best run defender, but also sometimes their best pass rusher.
Miami's rush defense this whole season has been horrendous. It doesn't matter if he's on the field or off the field. It is a little bit better with him, but dude, it really has been any matchup. You go and you run that ball against them, you will have success.
It's part of the reason why their pass defense looks so damn good.
Cook.
Because you can
Yeah,
just
that's a
fucking
great
run all
point.
the damn time.
It's a great point.
Buffalo, 17 out of 17.
Now, the comments I did think were kind of crazy.
On?
Tua.
I don't really care, to
It
be
sounded a
honest
little
with
bit
you.
hostile.
It did, and I'm okay with
yeah, I
it
mean,
because
he's-
people
you're
are
2-6,
always on his
first
neck.
game back, I get
yeah,
it. It's
facts.
pissed
And
off.
you're angry. Your
Yeah.
team's losing. People have tried to tell you what to do with your career and shit. I don't care.
That's not the Tua I know, man.
You want Tua to shut up and dribble, tight.
No. The Tua, I just want him to just, because I feel like in that quote, he also called out a teammate. He was like, Aaron Brewer.
Brewer
I
didn't
told-
give the best snap.
He didn't give the best
He
snap.
said, Brewer didn't give the best snap, and I also could have handled it a little bit better. That's keeping it 100.
And then he was like, it's not easy. I wish everybody eating chips at home would try it. It's not
Maybe
easy.
he had a bad morning.
He was definitely flaming. It was kind of funny.
I wasn't against it.
Nah, he was tight. Chargers
Okay.
versus Browns.
Chargers.
Chargers.
Here we go.
This one could have upset on it, believe it
Oh,
or
shit.
not.
Winston is playing, right?
He is.
Hey, now we think
He is,
about it.
but the Chargers defense is better than Baltimore's.
Think about it, Riff.
I did
Think
think
about it
I
long
have,
and hard.
I have Chargers on sleeper, so I'm going with my sleeper picks.
I do believe I also have the Chargers, but why is there? Oh, I capped. I have the Browns. I had a feeling. My brain was in the right place.
Can't change it now.
No, I could do whatever I want. However,
the game already passed.
It is the pick 'em, though.
It's the pick 'em,
This
yeah.
is you could change any picks that you have. It's not locked in yet.
I just felt like the Thursday game passed. Shit's kind of
there's no graphic up.
That's fair.
It's a fact. It's always the graphic.
Yeah, nothing's
You know that,
locked in.
Rick.
So if you want to change to the Browns, you could join Drew.
I am actually going to take the Browns. The Chargers defense for me is so up in the air, but obviously for more weeks than none, it's
They're
looked
great,
better.
dude.
Their defense.
They
hasn't
have
been
had moments. They haven't played great competition, and that's the
They
God's
played well against the
honest truth.
Chiefs.
They played well
Chiefs
against the
offense is not that
The
great.
Chiefs offense is good.
It's only
Chiefs
it's not-
offense is pretty. Like it's not.
yeah,
It's not
I know,
aesthetically
I
good, but the
know,
numbers
I
say
know,
it's good.
I know. I still feel the same
Who
way
else?
though,
Arizona.
and they
a
lost
good
that
offense.
game.
We've talked a lot about that.
Yeah, the defense played well.
I get it. I get it. I'm gonna take the Browns here as an upset pick at home. I think the Browns need this one also to keep their season going, and it's possible to make a weird run of it because the bottom of the AFC has been so mid. So give me the Browns here.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be an ugly game, right? This if it gets to 30 points, I'll be surprised combined from these teams. I even though Cleveland's defense has not been what it has been in the past, the Chargers just know how to make games ugly and slow, and they're not going to do a lot of things pretty. But with that being said, their passing offense has been tremendously better over these last 3 to 4 weeks. Justin Herbert's finally throwing for more than 200 yards. Lad McConkey's breaking out these last couple of weeks. Part of that is because J.K. Dobbins has not been nearly as efficient as he was in those first few weeks back. But I think the Chargers just overall, I know Jameis Winston, we got excited. Big game against Baltimore, huge upset. But Baltimore's defense this season, we've said it all year long. It's been bad, especially that pass defense, right? I'm not shocked Jameis went out there and threw for 300 yards. I would be shocked if he did it against this Chargers defense. I would be shocked if they went and scored 30 points against this Chargers defense. So I trust the Chargers and what they got going on more.
You can't understate what having an elite quarterback does to your offense because every game the Chargers go into, the first thing you wonder is how are they going to move the ball? And these last couple of weeks, Justin Herbert has stood on for
been bugging.
a lot of passing yards. You look at the receiving yards and you're like, Will Dissly's leading the Chargers. What the hell? But that's just what happens when we have a quarterback like Justin Herbert. I think this game is about what quarterback can play better and protect the ball better. And Jameis Winston gift wrapped some interceptions to the Ravens.
Oh my God, what did I say? You had three dropped, right? Jesus
So
Christ.
I think in this game, the Chargers defense, number one, try to force Jameis Winston into making those safe decisions. You cover the deep parts of the field and you just force him to play mature style brand of football. And Jameis being who Jameis is, you just hope that maybe he throws you one or two in this game and you can capitalize on that. That's why I have the Chargers winning this game. I just trust them more, and I think Jameis is always susceptible to a couple turnover-worthy plays.
If week 11 the Chargers defense plays the way that it's played all season, I will be quiet
There we
and
go.
I won't slander them. The Bengals. because last week the Eagles defense really did a great job of limiting the Bengals offense. If they can go out there and do it against the Bengals, the Chargers defense, I'll be moved, and I'll give them their acknowledgement and respect.
I'd church.
You're not switching. Okay.
I haven't been on the
Jameis
Browns
doesn't
in
move
like
you.
6
But you
weeks.
said
Okay.
with Deshaun, no Browns, no Riv.
I'm not a Jameis fan either.
I'm not saying that, but like Deshaun's gone.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Patriots versus Titans.
This one I could see it. I could see it for sure, but I'm gonna take the Titans.
Who did I pick?
Actually, I lied. I do have the Patriots on here. Good. I'm
also have
happy
the
about that.
Patriots winning this game.
I think the Patriots do win this game. I think the Titans are a good defense, a really good defense, but the Patriots are also a very respectable defense, especially going up against a pretty boo-boo offense in the Titans. I think that they'll find a way to win an ugly one. This will be an ugly game. Give me the Patriots.
If Drake May's playing locked, they're winning this game. I
Even if
don't
Mason
know.
Rudolph plays?
I don't know if Drake is playing. Yeah, I think Mason's going to play. He's progressing through concussion protocol, but he hasn't been cleared yet. The bigger concern, though, for Tennessee is their running backs are banged up. Tajay Spears already ruled out. Tony Pollard hasn't practiced yet this week at all. He's listed as questionable. So now you're going to this game where you've been really leaning on Tony Pollard. He's like top 5 in opportunities for running backs. He's been really the focal point of this offense, him and Calvin Ridley these last couple of weeks. But if you don't have any running backs, and now it's a lot easier to be like, all right, guard Calvin Ridley. Now what are you going to do? I think it gets a bit easier for New England. But of course, if Drake May is out, things change because I think he's a substantial upgrade over Jacoby Brissett. I'm assuming he's going to play. Because of that, I'll take New England.
I also have New England.
Man, Tennessee the favorite. Nobody's
They are the
going with
favorite.
them.
I think it's just because they're home.
At home.
I think if New England's home, New
They
England's
have
favored.
one win.
I know. I picked them like 4 times this year too. It's crazy.
yeah,
Me too. I think I picked them like a good 30-14. They have one win.
They
one
have
singular
so
win.
many
Who the hell did they beat? Miami.
injuries right now.
Yeah, they beat Miami when Tua was gone.
Will Levis is the same as a quarterback not being there.
My goodness, they have so many injuries
Will Levis
right
didn't
now.
play in that game.
Tennessee.
Yeah. I
Look,
know, bro.
Mason. That's valid. It's an upgrade.
Hey, listen, in this pick'em race,
Gotta get different sometimes.
you
I
gotta-
thought
you gotta be
somebody else
different,
was going to take the Titans too.
but you have to be calculated in your risk. So I'm taking the Patriots along with all of you
Alrighty.
guys. Chicago Bears versus the Arizona
This is another
Cardinals.
tough one.
I took Arizona here. Home
I
team.
respect that.
Kyler's
a lot.
been hooping. Marvin Harris Jr. had a big ass game. Chicago they're probably depleted right now. The energy's low. They could come out with 2 different energies. They come out and they could destroy Arizona. They can come out and have that same type of vibe. I think I'll go with the lopsided vibe because I think just the way they lost was really, really terrible. The way you can see the look on their
You think it's
faces.
going to end their season?
Not end it, but I think Arizona's definitely in the hunt. I think even if they lose this game, they'll still be in the hunt. But I got Arizona this one. I think just the way they've been playing right now, they'll get this one.
I get it. I definitely contemplated the Cardinals here too. I'm going to take Chicago. I think their defense is still great. I know that they lost on a walk-off touchdown, but they still were able to limit the Washington Commanders' offense a decent amount, especially, I should say, more importantly, keep them out of the end zone outside for the most important play of the game. But regardless, this Arizona Cardinals offense, it's looked good, in my opinion, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It looked good in a half versus the Bills. It looked good for the Rams game, and it looked really good against Miami. It seemed like everything clicked for them against Miami. But this Bears defense is not Miami's, not even close. I think that'll be the difference here. I think DeAndre Swift has a big game. If you watch the fantasy reaction, that was my start of the week for like the 17th time. He's been amazing since week 4. He's been one of the more secure backs in the game. I think he has a big game, especially with how weak Arizona's rush defense has been. Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'm also taking Chicago here. I think Rib's point is fair. Could go one or two ways. I think they're going to bounce back coming off this game. That was a demoralizing loss on so many fronts outside of the Hail Mary. The fucking first half, you have like 30 passing yards. You're coming off a bye. Can't get any offense going. Of course, the fumble at the goal line because you give the ball to the fucking
was
guard
nasty.
instead of Roshan Johnson, who's been like the best goal line back, or DeAndre Swift, who's been eating for the past month and a half. What does concern me is that they didn't really take any accountability for it, right? Shane Waldron was just like, yeah, no, I'll basically do it again. It's not exactly what he said, but more or less, he was like, yeah, kind of is what it is. I wish he would have been like, yeah, you know what? Probably should have gave it to the running back there. So a bit concerning, but that's a bigger issue Chicago has. But I just trust both sides of the ball more for Chicago. Arizona, although Chicago be like this too, they could be consistent, right? Like Arizona has some weeks where the offense looks like it's flowing and they get things going, and there's other weeks where it looks lost, and both running the ball and passing the ball, it just doesn't get consistent momentum there. But one thing I can count on, Chicago's defense. I know that's going to show up week in and week out, so that's a tiebreaker for me.
Caleb Williams was terrible against the Commanders.
Pretty boo-boo.
He missed so many easy throws. Really was the opposite of what he's been. He's been one of the best quick game quarterbacks in the league this season, and it was surprising to me that he missed so many throws against Arizona. I felt like there were some open receivers and some clean pockets. Yeah, against the Commanders. I felt like there were some open throws and some clean pockets that he just wasn't ripping. So those are concerns for him. I think he has a bounce back game against Arizona. I do think there was some type of psychological play at hand versus the Commanders. I'm facing Jaden. I have to outplay him, and he wasn't playing like himself. I think he plays more like himself, and they bounce back against a pretty poor Arizona defense. So I'm going with the Bears. Cowboys versus the Falcons.
I have the Cowboys in this game. I know that the Falcons' offense has been humming. It's been awesome. Kyle Pitts, give him some love. He's really shined since that Saints game moving forward. That Bucks game moving forward. I just think Dallas is desperate here. They need a win, and the Falcons' defense has not been good whatsoever. And last week, they ended up pulling a comeback against the Niners. They just couldn't convert it and finish the job. Every week, it seems as if they're right there, right in the cusp of winning outside of that Lions game where that was a dismantling. But they find a way to stay in games. And I think in this matchup, see CeeDee Lamb go berserk. Jake Ferguson will have a good game. The pass offense needs to have its best performance. I think it will. And in translation, I think that will ultimately end up in a W because Dallas loses this game. I think their season's done. I know we believe that their season's already done, but this is one of those that even though you are on the road, it's a winnable game. And I'm going to go with Dallas here.
I'm taking Dallas as well.
Son of a bitch, Joel.
It's tough, man, because I do think Atlanta.
Can I get one? Fuck.
Well, you took the Texans, bro. Don't worry.
Facts, you're right. You're right. That's a good point.
I think Dallas needs it more. I mean, they last week almost barely somehow lost that game against the 49ers, even though they had a chance at the end and they went, 0 for 4 in that last possession. That's kind of what Dallas does. They go down by 20 and then try to make a comeback at the end. But, I mean, Dallas needs this win to save their season, it feels like, at this point. And I do think, similar to last season, second half of the year, Dak and CeeDee got hot. This feels like a game where that could get going. Atlanta's defense has been pretty terrible all season long. So I feel like this is the path that Dallas needs to take. If they're going to go on a hot streak, if they're going to win a few games, it has to be off that because Rico Dowdle, Dalvin Cook, and of course Zeke is not going to be carrying you on offense. They're going to have to win shootouts, and this is a game they can do against Atlanta.
I don't feel good about neither team here.
shouldn't.
I know the Cowboys, they need this one. It's desperation time. They can only win one way. They can only win if they're going up against a poor defense. Funny enough, the Falcons are one of the worst defenses in football, and I think the Falcons are overrated. They probably will end up winning the NFC South just because of the injuries that the Bucs are going through. Saints are out of the picture, so are the Panthers. But this team, I don't think is that good. I think at best they're a first-round exit. Their defense is horrific. Their offensive line can't protect Kirk Cousins all that well. They can't handle stunts all that well. The only thing going for them is that Kirk Cousins is slinging it at a high level. They've played some weak defenses, so they've capitalized on that, and they've been able to get the run game going at least somewhat against these porous defenses.
Bijan's been frying recently.
Cowboys are one of the worst defenses in football, and to me, how I view this matchup is who's going to win the shootout? Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and the Cowboys, or the Falcons with Kirk, London, and Pitts? And to me, I believe that the Falcons can make one or two more plays in this game. Jesse Bates can make one or two plays in this game that can maybe get a stop. And I think because they have a reliable run game, they can chew out more clock than Dallas. I'm going with the Falcons. I don't feel great about it because I don't think the Falcons are that good. I think these are two teams that are on the same level, but they're getting different type of attention right now because of the record.
Who's the Falcons wide receiver one?
Who?
Who's the Falcons wide receiver one?
London.
Drake London.
They called him out on that a couple of times.
I know, I've seen that.
You do say London for whatever reason.
London.
It's London.
Drake London.
London.
Like
London.
there you go. You got it. London.
London.
Good shit.
London.
Yeah. You do say
It's
London
the
for
same
It's
shit.
not. It's very
No, it
different.
definitely sounds a little different.
I fuck with a little bit of what you said. I like your process. Don't like your result.
Something about Falcons players too. Apologize. Aljair.
Oh yeah, that
London.
name
London.
I grew up in the streets, man. I
No, you
pronounced
didn't.
it
Stop lying.
London? You can't carry London?
I got Dallas in this one though. I think it does come out to a shootout.
Big Dallas guy this year.
Yeah, I hate him, but big CD guy, no doubt in my mind.
Fuck.
I do think they'll
Changing my pick.
I think they'll have a shootout, but I think Dallas will come out on top. Like you said, game changing. Need this to save whatever they think they can save in their season. I'm not too big of an Atlanta fan. I think their defense is bad. I also think their offense get a little bit overrated. But give me Dallas in this
The
one.
highest over under the week. They're expecting a
telling
shootout.
me
You know
I
what,
should pick
Joel?
the
You know what?
Cowboys?
Don't change your pick. I will.
You're riding.
Give me the Falcons.
Okay, let's go.
We're here?
Yeah. Fuck this guy.
Fuck him.
Take some risks.
Fuck them.
I took the Jets.
To be fair,
it's the biggest risk of my life.
To be fair, OD. And I'll give you. I was laughing at myself. I was just like, no, he got me. You did pick the Texans. I did do that.
That's funny as shit.
But honestly, I was convinced with the idea that I looked at this game versus the Buccaneers, and similarly, the Buccaneers, although they lost XYZ with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, that offense was still able to just put more points up on the board. I can see it happening again. Give me the Falcons.
Okay, now next game, Raiders versus Bengals. Do we all have the Bengals in
I
this
do
game?
have the
We'll
Bengals.
pass
I
that.
think that's what
Yes.
concerns me, but I think the Bengals will win.
Yeah, we all have the Bengals.
They
You
better
can
win
move
this fucking game, man.
on. Broncos
You can't talk like
versus
that. You
the
can't talk like that.
Ravens.
Do we all have Baltimore?
I say this.
I got the Ravens, yeah.
I'm taking the Ravens. I see the route.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw all over this
I see it.
Ravens
Oh, you're
secondary.
taking the Ravens in this game.
I am. I see the route.
How are you fading the Broncos? Bo Nix, everywhere I look, fantasy content creators saying he's the start of the week.
He's
a
a
great
week.
start.
So I did
Yeah.
make him my start of
If
the week.
Bo Nix is playing well
trying to beat
and the
you.
Broncos
I know.
defense is this good, well, how did the Broncos not win?
With all due respect, we're playing the Ravens. We're playing the Ravens. And I would love to be wrong. And God, I'll be so fucking happy because the route's there. We go and we pass on these guys.
Ride with Bo Nix, man. You've been having these debates.
I'm riding with
Bo
him.
Nix versus Caleb.
The thing is, I can win both ways. I can win with one. Broncos win the game. That's number one. I would love that more than anything. But we lose and Bo Nix has a respectable performance. I also win. So either which way you shake it, I just think that the Ravens are. If the Ravens would have beat the Browns,
I'm with you.
I would have felt way better about the Broncos winning this game.
They'll have some stupid losses. I don't think they'll have two
two in a
losses
row,
yeah.
although they did kind of have it against the Raiders after losing to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
but
Chiefs,
that was
yeah.
agreed.
And the Broncos, I'm not saying
You
stupid.
had the
Broncos are a good
Broncos
team.
before the show started, though.
I never did.
You never did?
I never
I
did.
thought you did.
I never
Didn't
did.
he say he was going to pick the Broncos?
No,
I don't think so.
I never
I
did.
remember.
My thing was, I said for Survivor Pool, I was thinking about taking the Ravens, but then I'd have to root against the Broncos, and I don't want to do that.
I feel you.
So I'm gonna take the Ravens here. Again, they lost a game they shouldn't have against the Browns. They probably are just gonna come out and play their best brand of football. But damn it, I would love if they didn't.
You know, with this game, I understand, like, I'm looking at all these fantasy creators and they're saying that Bo Nix is, like, start of the weeks and stuff. I don't think the Ravens have been playing to their talent level. This has nothing to do with Bo Nix. I just think the Broncos' offense isn't that good. I don't think their receivers can get separation against actual good corners on a consistent basis.
You think J.C. Horn's in?
J.C. Horn, no, he's been terrible this year.
He has been.
Yeah, I don't think the
Should ask Riv that.
the Broncos have a good run
Sad to see him go
defense
down, man.
either, and they can't run the ball on offense. I think the Ravens should beat them, and I think this is a bounce back game for their defense. At least I'm hoping so. I have their defense started in one fantasy league. I just think that their talent level, there has to be 1 week where it finally lives up to the billing. And their DVOA
against the Gardner Minshew wasn't there. Against Jameis Winston wasn't there.
listen, I
guess.
understand.
Hey, Bo Nix.
Yeah, I understand. The Ravens' DVOA this year has been so much different than their EPA per play. So I think that the Ravens are bound to have some regression to the mean. So I got the Ravens in this one. I think
got in
their
that
defense
cup?
shows up. This is a hot coffee. It's a half decaf peppermint mocha. I like peppermint mocha.
I could have put money on it that peppermint was in there.
Yeah, you smell it?
No, I just had a feeling. I think maybe it's because of the candy canes on the outside.
Oh yeah, it's a
Maybe
nice
that's what
looking
gave
cup.
it away for me. But we'll see what happens.
Okay. If Bo Nix has a game, listen, my Ravens defense is messed up in
Yeah.
fantasy. Yeah. You're going with the Ravens, Riff.
Everybody
Not thinking
picking
much
Ravens.
about it?
Nah.
Okay. So this was a game we could have just moved past then, but we didn't. Jaguars versus Eagles.
We can move past this one.
Philly.
Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles too. You know, the Jaguars offense didn't look that bad against the Packers though.
The Jaguars offense has been solid the last 4
No,
weeks.
and I
Ryan
will
Thomas
say
is game time
questionable
decision though. If he's
facts.
out, you're cooked.
Trevor Lawrence made some really stupid plays in this game. Listen, I think he plays well, but there are just a couple boneheaded mistakes he makes. He threw an interception in this game, and it gave the Packers perfect field position. He also had a fumble in this one. He just has to take care of those turnovers better. But he made some high-level throws. And if they can kind of clean those up, Eagles' defense last 3 weeks hasn't been tested all that much. The Bengals, it was a really good performance. I think the Jaguars
Hasn't been tested.
Maybe
Played
they
one of
have
the best
some
offenses in the league. No, he lied. He
the
lied.
Bengals have been bad the last 3 weeks on offense.
But they're objectively a better offense than the Jaguars.
So then I shouldn't be moved by the Chargers when they play them. Got it. That just helped me though.
The Bengals' rushing offense has been the worst in the league over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, but they're also
Their pass
a pretty
offense is
great
elite.
passing offense.
No,
no
T.
T.
Higgins.
Higgins.
That's fair.
I guess.
Fair.
It's not the same. Listen, and I think that
Although
game.
you have Jamar Chase, no T. Higgins.
So
it's different.
Jermaine Burton had some comments about his role.
What did he say?
He basically said like I can't like put myself out in the field. Like I want to be making plays, but the coaching staff. He didn't say the coaching staff, but it's basically insinuating the coaching staff's not
He's
giving me
explosive.
chances.
I mean, the game was 17-7, like midway through the third quarter. And then the Eagles kind of ran away with it with some stupid Bengals play calls and then the turnover. But, no, the Jaguars can have some success on offense. I think the Eagles are starting to figure things out, though. Yeah. And if this defense keeps playing well like this, then they're going to be in the conversation for contenders in the NFC.
Absolutely.
I think they're knocking into that door.
I mean, you could run the ball the way they could run it.
Saw
The defense playing at a great
the
level.
last 2 games of the Jaguars offense.
No, trust me, I'm not.
What was it?
It was against Green Bay, who we already lit them up. We know their defense is whatever. And then the game before that, it was how did I forget that fast? It was against the New England Patriots. Yeah. The defense is what?
It's
You know, the
maybe
Jaguars
slightly
are
below average.
2-6, but 4 of their losses
One
have come by
score.
1 score. Yeah, they haven't had the best of luck.
They got
No,
locked
it's
in.
not luck. It's they are choke artists.
Yeah.
They do choke. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many fucking drop touchdowns do they have in the New
Still
England?
not the best of luck, you know. Still not the best of luck. Travis
Choking
Etienne
and
fumble.
luck, I don't call them synonyms.
Now, Rams versus Seahawks.
I'm taking the Rams, truthfully. Seahawks burned me
not
last
playing,
week.
right?
He's
He's
not.
out.
He did get ruled out. and
Puka's also
Puka
questionable.
is questionable. I think that this Rams defense has been playing a lot better since the start of the season. Shout out to the rookies, Braden Fisk and, of course, Jared Verse. They've been awesome on that defensive line. I really think that Seattle, if you just get pressure on them and force Geno to play make, which obviously we know you can do at a high level, but without DK Metcalf, I think things get a little bit dicey. I learned my lesson last week. I'm not making that same mistake. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams have been, because the Seahawks' biggest issue is their offensive line. The Rams have been one of the best teams at generating pressure, doing at a top 5 rate in the NFL right now, 39%. Jared Verse has been great. You mentioned also the second round pick, Brandon Fisk has been great too, 26 out of 99 qualifiers in terms of pressure rate. Kobe Turner as well, 34th, and of course, Jared Verse has been phenomenal, 3rd best in the NFL. I'm taking the Rams too. Even if Puka misses this game, I think Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, and what this defense has been able to do is enough.
Kyron Williams, respect him. Respect him. That's all I'm going to say.
Who you taking?
Respect him.
I
I
got
think
Seattle.
Kyron's good.
What, you don't like Kyron?
Jalen Warren. Don't forget.
I think
said that?
Jalen Warren's good,
You
too.
said Jalen Warren's better than Kyron?
I think
Yes.
if they're in the same
you
offense,
said he's better.
I don't know what type of different results you're going to get.
I don't think that answered my question.
Yeah, listen, I think a lot of running back
Tiptoe around my question.
a lot of running back
He's a
productivity.
professional at that shit.
You should be a politician.
He's a legend for that. He's a
I mean,
legend
listen,
for
a
it.
lot of running back productivity has to do with offensive infrastructure and situation.
Absolutely. But I think just player for player, Kyron's
Who do you
better.
think's better?
Do you think Kyron's a more explosive player than Jalen Warren?
So let me ask you a
close.
question. Tua was out. HM was dog shit. Tua's back. He's amazing. What is that like? What do we do about that type of situation?
When you have a
kinda-
backup quarterback, it's easier
I
to.
kind of feel like even if Tua didn't play, I think they would have been able to run the ball on the Cardinals. Maybe that's just me, though.
I don't know. They weren't able to run the ball for like
Against
5 weeks.
Any defense didn't matter.
I think the Cardinals' defense was objectively the worst that they played in those 5-week span. Because they faced the Titans, the Patriots. I think Cardinals' defense is worse than the Patriots.
Okay.
Then who else did they play? The
Titans.
The
You
Colts.
said that already? Colts.
Colts are probably an example.
Colts
I think
defense
terrible.
sucks.
I
Their
think
rush
they've-
defense sucks.
I think they've been better, though.
They slightly have, and I'm not going
Especially-
to disagree with that.
Yeah, the guy who's broken out to me has been Dio Dengbo. He's been really good.
I actually noticed that this week when I was doing my work for the fantasy reaction,
Yeah.
when they went from bottom of every list to middle of the pack, I'll give
I
him
mean,
respect.
HN did average 5 a carry against ND. And New England, he got hurt early in that game, so he only had 3 carries.
Yeah.
Just Tennessee was 10
I
for
just
15.
do think
Seattle
running the
11 for
football
30.
has a lot to do with situation, you know? Like, do I think Travis Etienne is as bad as his, like, productivity?
I don't know. Tank Bigsby's looking
This
pretty
year,
damn
yeah.
good.
Okay.
This year, yeah. You know,
Mhm.
because we see Tank Bigsby doing it, but last year, no.
Tank Bigsby, great call.
Didn't ETN only have like a good fraction of the
Last
last
year
year?
was
Touchdown
First half,
machine.
Insane.
touchdown machine.
Like
might
a
have had,
perfect
8
example
touchdowns
of
in 8
this,
weeks.
I think an even better example of this would be Alvin Kamara. Like, my co-host Jackson McIntyre for the Weekly Blitz, he has like this running back metric, RBIS, which just measures running back productivity, like how many tackles they break. So it doesn't take into account the offensive line play at all. And Alvin Kamara was one of the bottom barrel running backs in that statistic. Mm-hmm. But you saw when the Saints offensive line blocked well, Alvin Kamara was producing well, but week by week, his RBIS score was always one of the lowest because he still wasn't forcing tackles. And now we see the Saints offensive line has fallen off, and then Kamara is not forcing any tackles, so now the running game as a whole has fallen off as well. So I think,
Does this shit love James Conner?
it's just because James Conner is up right now.
I would say James Conner has like 20 more missed tackles for us than fucking like.
No, James Conner's like a top 5 back in that metric.
James Conner's the most underrated running back in the league.
Yeah, I have the Rams in this game because of their defensive line. I think the Seahawks offensive line is such a huge liability. Jared Verse has been running away with Defensive Rookie of the Year. I know Rev doesn't want to hear that because Quinyon Mitchell.
not true.
He has that prop. Quinyon Mitchell, shout out to him. He's playing really well as well.
Quinyon has the same tag as PS2 for Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion.
Huh?
Quinyon has the same tag that people are using for PS2 for Defensive Player of the Year.
It's not even close.
He has that for Defensive
Rookie of the Year. Okay,
Yes.
I was confused for a
He
second.
has that for
I'm here.
Defensive Rookie
I'm
of the Year.
here.
Same way how PS2 is strapping everybody like he should be, Quinyon is also strapping people up as a rookie. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you hate to hear that, but
I don't.
I need you to
don't
hear
find.
that. I want you to
I think
undoubtedly
Quinyon's.
have-
I thought he was going to be a good corner.
No, he's better than
It's
good.
just that he's on the Eagles. And
He's better than.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
he's playing well, but he hasn't been better than Jared Verse. Jared Verse has been one of the top
you
best
can't-
edge rushers
Quinyon's been one of the
as a
top corners
rookie.
in
Nah,
football.
he really has been. Both
Quinion's been one of
both
the top-
statements
I
are
think
true.
I think they're top 2 for Rookie of the Year
Yes,
right now.
I agree.
I love that.
I'm with
Quinion's
that.
been one of the top corners, like better than your boy Sauce. He's been better than this year.
Pretty.
I don't think Sauce has been good this year.
I know.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Who was it? Was I watching? Not Player's Choice. Apologize. It was Trent
But
Shaw.
Quinyon's not better than Sauce. He's
No,
playing
that's like Jared Verse is not better than Max Crosby. Like, duh, but he's having
Max
an amazing
Crosby's
year.
still
He's
progressing.
cooking though. I get his sentiment.
I understand what he's saying. I'm just saying, I think right now, if the vote was for Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think Jared Verse would win it pretty comfortably.
I don't agree.
That's
but
why.
I'm
Hey,
biased.
listen, the award's not won halfway through the season because Jalen Carter choked it away. You know,
You're cooking.
Will Anderson was able to snatch that
I'm a
away
little
from him.
biased.
I'm just
So,
looking at an edge rusher who has changed around the Rams defense. That I was gonna
Quinyon
be
Mitchell has
porous.
low key changed
And
around the Eagles
Fisk,
defense.
Fisk has been a dog too in his own
I'm
right.
gonna be honest. I think the Eagles defense, to me, when it started really taking off, when
Was
Cooper
when
DeJean
Cooper
started.
DeJean nickel.
Right. And I believe, in my eyes, from what I've been seeing, that when we drafted Quinyon Mitchell, he changed the defense.
Yeah, before Cooper DeJean started, the defense was getting cooked.
I mean, by who?
Who's the
Anybody you played, pretty much.
I'm blanking. Oh, Maddox, right? He was
The
the
Packers
nickel-
cooked you guys.
Game one,
The
yes.
Falcons cooked you
Wait,
guys.
the,
No, they
the
did not.
Packers cooked them.
Wait. The Falcons.
They
The
put up
Falcons.
400
The Falcons
yards.
did not cook us.
The Falcons.
They had
one drive.
this last drive.
It was just one drive. The Saints, the team you
Hey, that's
love,
bad.
they did not cook us. We actually locked them the fuck up.
Bucks.
Cincinnati. Oh, hurt.
Bucks coach,
Cincinnati.
yeah. The Bucks coach, yeah.
Cincinnati.
They're one of the best offensive football though.
Cincinnati.
Who did you play after the Bucks?
Cincinnati.
No.
Nah.
Oh, you mean like right after?
Giants.
Was it the bye week?
It was a bye.
Bye
The
and then the
Giants,
Giants.
Browns, Bengals.
Yeah.
We've had one bad game on the. If you count Green Bay, but you always love the turf things.
Yeah, I
Can we
mean, the
use turf
Eagles.
thing?
Wow. Yo, well done.
No, I mean, listen, I think the Eagles.
All the way that things are going, I'm
Like,
gonna have to leave.
for me, I believe that Cooper DeJean has been the difference. Quinyon Mitchell has been great in his own right.
Cooper's nice. You won't hear no slack.
demon.
From me.
The
Shout out to
Eagles.
Jackie.
What's interesting about them is that because we didn't talk about this in the Jaguars segment, but you look at the Lions and the Eagles EPA per play. No, the Lions and the Packers. Sorry, Lions and the Packers EPA per play on defense. They're both in the top 10. The Eagles are not in the top 10. They're middle of the pack. Where the Eagles
Where's the
defense
success rate?
success rate. That's what I'm saying. The Eagles' success rate on defense is top 10. The Packers are one of the lowest teams, and the Lions are middle of the pack.
Is that
Well, yeah, I
'cause
mean, you have
turnovers?
Xavier
That's
McKinney
exactly
has
what
fucking
it
like
is.
7 interceptions.
The
So.
Eagles have not
You're close.
benefited from turnovers this year all that much, but they have been a very stout defense. And if this is the version of the defense that we're getting, if the offense can figure some things out, then this is why they could become
happily be there.
contenders.
If I get,
That's why.
If I get another bowl in my lifetime, I don't know what I'd do to myself. I
should
might
get
run
another
down the
one.
street butt ass naked.
You don't think you get another bowl in your life?
No, I'm saying if I get this is 3. This would be 3 early.
He's saying get there. He's saying the fact that he's been there 3 times.
yeah.
I didn't seen 3 bowls in the last 10 years.
That's nuts.
elite.
That's insane. I'd literally run down
The Eagles
the
are
street.
one of the best run organizations in football.
Yeah, I'd be ecstatic. Oh my God, the things I do.
Yeah, but the Rams also have had success against Mike McDonald last year against the Ravens.
It all
They
stems
played
back
well.
to the Rams and Seahawks.
That was
yes.
that was
No,
that was one of the best games of the year last year.
Yeah, I have the Rams in this game. Lions versus Packers.
This one's actually tough as shit.
Jordan Love is questionable,
yeah.
but I think expected to play.
Give your answer, Joel.
I'm taking the Lions in this game.
Okay, so am I.
Yeah, the Lions have been way too dominant. The run game has been way too
Green Bay
dominant.
route?
What are you going with?
I think I might take Green Bay because they're
If
home.
Malik plays, I can't. And no slight to Malik, who's played really well while Jordan's been out. I just think that right now,
this is all assuming Jordan Love.
I think this Detroit team's playing at too high a level. And I think that, we can see the Packers get pressure on Detroit and kind of make him uncomfortable. But we've seen Goff
been amazing
under pressure this season. And it's been this team taking turns on offense.
Jameson back? Did he miss the 2 games or just been one?
No, it's been one. He's suspended this game as well. But last week, they put up 50 points, and it was with
80
Amon-Ra
passing
St.
yards.
Brown having 7 yards
Yeah.
and a touchdown. Laporta had a cute game, but of course, the rushing game was so dominant. And Monty, Sonic and Knuckles, shout out to Jameer Gibbs. They can just beat you in so many different ways. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And Jordan Love, if he plays, he's due for a turnover, and it could be a backbreaking
He's
one.
not 100% too.
And he's not at 100%, and that's the truth. But this Lions rush defense is great. And Josh Jacobs, who's been really good for the Packers, I think this is a game that we see Detroit limit him a decent amount. Give me the Lions.
You're not going to find any team playing better on
What's the
all
weather
sides of
looking
the
like?
ball, all phases than the Lions
No
right
lie.
now. Offense, defense, special teams.
Was almost one of your
They've been
teams.
the best. Yeah, they were. This one of the best teams in the league. All 3 phases. I don't think this game has
rain.
much. It is going to rain.
So 80% chance.
Okay. I don't think this game has much to do with Jordan Love as much as it has to do with the Packers defense. I think Jordan Love will play. He pretty much thugged out most of the game versus the Jaguars, really limping on one leg and then collapsed on the sideline because he couldn't handle the pain no more. So he definitely toughed it out. So he will play, I believe. The biggest players that the Packers will miss in this one, Jair's not playing, and Evan Williams is not playing. Evan Williams, when he went out with that hamstring injury versus the Jaguars, their defense collapsed. This is a defense that asks a lot of their secondary and their safeties. Evan Williams guarding slot receivers. He probably would have had the Amon-Ra St. Brown matchup. He makes plays on run defense. Now, Evan Williams has been an all-pro safety. I think Amon-Ra, that would have been a battle for sure. Evan Williams is not no slouch.
Tom and Ra.
Evan Williams, him not playing,
Touchdown
I think,
5 straight
changes things. And then the secondary, and if they don't turn over the ball, their defense doesn't have a high success rate. And you telling me the forecast is going to rain a little bit,
50%
I
chance.
think
It bodes right into Lions' hands.
it plays into the hands of the Lions. They run the ball. That's what they are. They're a smash mouth football team. And I haven't been impressed with the Packers' defensive line. I think their secondary has been carrying them through this portion of the season. And if Jeff Hafley's not using these creative stunt and blitz looks, they really just can't generate pressure just rushing straight forward and bull rushing. So I'm going with the Lions in this one. I think they beat the Packers.
Anthony Black is playing really well. Lions, Green Bay. I think I'll take Green Bay, the home team in this one. I think they'll both split. So I don't think this is going to be. I think Green Bay needs it a little bit more, though. I think Lions have been getting the bulk of the, I want to say the hype. They've been playing at an extremely high level. Yeah, no, well deserved. They've been playing like the best team in the NFC. Green Bay kind of wants to assert that, kind of wants to, and they're fighting for the division too. So I got Green Bay in this one.
Colts versus Vikings.
This also adds to your hate for the Lions. Colts versus Vikings. This was in contention for my lock of the week, and then Joe Flacco got named the starter. And I got cold feet because this secondary quietly for the Vikings, not good. When it comes to fantasy football, they're actually tied. I think they're actually not tied. They're number 1 in most points allowed to the wide receiver position. I really don't think that bodes well for Minnesota. It is on prime time. I'm going to take them regardless. I think the Vikings do win this game. I think Flacco has a good game. I think Josh Downs has a good game. I know he has the toe injury, but did play through it last week. Same with Michael Pittman with the back injury. Has played through it for multiple weeks now. But the Vikings should win this game. The season turns upside down if they lose for them. Now things really start to really doubt Minnesota, and now all eyes really go on Sam Darnold, who did not play bad these last 2 weeks, and unfortunately has had back-to-back losses. But you have to win this game against the Colts.
They're 5-2.
They are. I think that's correct because they did have their bye week.
Did they have 3 in a row or 2 in a row?
Two losses in a row
Back-to-back
off their
losses.
bye week.
Lost to the Lions and they lost to the Rams.
It's just they in the last 3 weeks, bye week, then 2 losses in a row.
So I'll take Minnesota. This should be a bounce back game. The Colts kind of low key fake need this one to stay into that playoff realm. Joe Flacco is playing, but I got Minnesota. I think they're too well coached to lose 3 straight in a row.
I love your upset picks this week.
What's my upset picks?
You have the Cardinals over the Bears.
I don't think Green Bay is a real upset pick though. I think they're kind of like.
No, I'm talking about this game though. I think this game is an upset. You know, if
Minnesota?
you you're picking the Colts.
No,
Why the hell would I pick the
I
Colts?
thought he picked the Colts.
I pick Minnesota. Yeah, I think they should win. They should bounce back. Like 2 losses, like you mentioned, Drew. They can't afford to go down 3 straight. You know, you kind of need this one to bounce back. Your defense has been getting carved up as of late. We probably all would have picked the Rams last week though. If we knew Cooper and Puka were playing at the same time.
Pissed me the fuck
so that
off.
shit kind of caught us by surprise. But give me Minnesota in this one.
Yeah, I think Flacco's gonna be great. I think he's gonna throw for 300 yards, probably throw for a couple of touchdowns. I agree. I think Josh Downs is. We did fancy reaction last night, he would have been star of the week. He should be great. Minnesota though, their pass defense is terrible. Rush defense is great. You know, I feel like we see that from a few teams this season where although Kyron was phenomenal last week, you're able to take away one side of the ball, but not the other. And also Minnesota has been dominating a few teams where you just have to play some catch up. So those numbers could be skewed some. But Joe Flacco's shown in those games he could start, he's going to move the ball, right? He's not going to make as many mistakes as Anthony Richardson. He's, of course, not as mobile. He's probably going to take some more sacks. He's still going to have a couple of those throws that's going to be turnover worthy. But all in all, I think you're going to have more success moving the ball consistently. I think Jonathan Taylor is still going to be great in his own right. But Minnesota, that was a tough loss against the Rams, right? I think they caught him by surprise. Of course, having Puka Nacua out there, changed the game, really, because Puka was their wide receiver 1. Although Cooper Kupp was expecting to be the guy who was going to be more involved, it was Puka all the way over 100 yards. But Minnesota, I agree with. They're too well coached to lose 3 in a row. I think they win this game against the Colts.
I think the Colts, there's some upset potential here, although I think the Flacco aspect of it all is kind of overblown and it's overrated. And the reason I say that is because they lost to the winless Jaguars. They beat the Titans by 3 points, another team that's one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Pass defense is good.
This is a Colts team that they have to win shootouts. Like, their defense is just not that good. Joe Flacco gives them a better chance to pass the ball. But if you look at all the EPA numbers, when Richardson is in the game, their rushing attack is so much better. And on early downs, the efficiency of the Colts offense is actually better than with Joe Flacco. Now, Anthony Richardson and all of his starts but one has gone up against a top 10 pass defense. So it's not like he's been going up against some easy defenses.
It's kind of crazy.
Joe Flacco did beat the Steelers.
And Richardson's first 2 drives were amazing in that game.
But he did finish the job in 1.
I know he didn't finish the job, but he got hurt.
He did. I'm saying he finished the job as in Joe Flacco.
I know, Joe Flacco did, and there was some mistakes in there too. I just don't think that Flacco gives the Colts such a much better chance to win than Richardson. And I do think that there's something in play here where, listen, they beat the Jaguars by 3 points. They beat the Titans, or they lost to the Jaguars by 3 points. They beat the Titans by 3 points. The Vikings are much better teams than those 2 teams. And this, although it could be close, this could also be a statement victory from the Vikings. Like, listen, we're still that same team that was blowing CJ Stroud out the water early in the year, convincingly beating the 49ers. And I think it's a higher possibility we get that version of the Vikings because they'll be able to move the ball on offense. And I think their defense could come alive. The biggest issue for them has been their lack of a pass rush. Outside of Jonathan Grenard, nobody else can generate a pass rush.
Van Ginkel's been in pretty mid quietly.
I know Van Ginkel makes these highlight splash plays, but his pass rush win rate is 10%, which is below league average. Like, if you're just asking him to rush the passer, he's not winning all that often. So I have the Vikings, and I think this could be a game where they win convincingly. Buccaneers versus Chiefs, Monday Night Football.
This was also in conversation for my lock of the
David
week.
Njoku?
Kayvon by far. Not even conversation.
K-Dot.
That's been something I've been trying to figure out.
Njoku's got a tough matchup going against Chargers.
I'm going to be honest, K-Dot is my tight end 1 on the week.
He's great.
He's number 1. Yeah. He's going to go berserk. I'm going to take the Chiefs every single week. I vowed I will pick the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think that trend continues. Bucs defense is not good. I think DeAndre Hopkins has his best game of the season.
Yeah, I got Kansas City too. They're undefeated. Probably they'll lose at some point, but it's not going to be against this team.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs, man. They might whip their ass.
Should I make this my lock of the week? I feel like
KC?
it's just because.
Wait.
Here's my thing. I took the Saints
Don't they play the
as my
Raiders
lock
again?
in the week. See, but the thing is, I don't like division games.
Okay.
That's been my mindset. I try to stay away from division
Check
games.
the schedule right now before you lock it up.
I've been sure that's again, but I got some good advice from some guy that I go to the gym with. He said, "Don't think about survivor pool 3 weeks away. You need to go week by week. So if you have to use a good team, use a good team."
Fact.
The only thing that's bothering me is I don't know what it is. I don't know why I have some
undefeated,
hesitancy
so it's
against
scary.
it. That's really what it is.
undefeated,
That
so
they're just
eventually
due
they
to
have to-
lose.
yeah.
But this shouldn't be that game. The Bucks defense
can
is
be,
not
man.
good. You know what? Lock of the week.
there's
Kansas
that.
City Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs.
Shout out to Casey, man.
Because then
Oh, I
all
went
right,
already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I said it.
all right, I'm changing.
Took a look.
Sometimes you mess up the flow. It's like this, and then
Well,
you
you
go,
were on your phone, so I started talking.
Yeah, this order's been all over the place today.
Yeah, my bad. It may be me.
It's all right.
I won't lie,
and it
may be me.
also is Monday Night Football. I think that's also what it is. Give me a little stomach ache having to wait all week.
I get that.
To recap our NFL Week 9 picks, Week 9 NFL prediction: Saints versus Panthers.
I am going with the Saints in this one.
Give me the Saints.
Take the Saints.
Derek Carr's coming back. Don't trust Bryce Young. Give me the Saints. Commanders versus Giants.
I am going with the Giants in this one. Upset alert.
I'm going to take the Commanders. So I can't think twice about that one.
I like the upset alert, but I'm taking Jaden Daniels.
How could you trust the Giants at this point in time?
Can't.
Give me the Commanders. Dolphins versus Bills.
I am going always and forever with Bills Mafia.
Yeah, the Bills are winning this one.
Yep, Bills.
Dolphins back against the wall, but the Bills have owned them. Give me the
blood fuck.
Bills. Chargers versus Browns.
I am taking the Chargers in this one.
I'm going to take the upset. Give me the Browns.
I think the Chargers win this game.
Justin Herbert quietly is playing at an elite level these past couple of weeks. Lab McConkey is showing out. Chargers defense is real. Give me the Chargers being the Browns on the road. Patriots versus Titans.
This is going to be my upset. If it is one, I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah, give me the Patriots. Titans are not good.
Taking New England too, as long as Drake may place.
Give me the Patriots as well. Clean sweep for the Patriots. I mean, wow.
Here we go. New England.
Cowboys versus Falcons.
I am going with the upset. If it is one again, give me Dallas in this one.
Contemplated Dallas, but I think the Falcons offense just outscores them.
Dak, CD, need your fantasy, man. Let's lock in.
I don't feel good about neither of these teams. The Falcons defense is horrendous. The Cowboys defense is horrendous, and they can't run the ball. Give me the Falcons more reliable run game. Kirk Cousins is playing better than Dak. Give me Atlanta at home. Raiders versus Bengals.
I am easily going with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Give me Cincy.
Hopefully the Bengals can win a game.
I got the Bengals. Bounce back game for Joe Burrow in that offense. Broncos versus Ravens.
I am taking the Ravens in this one.
God, I would love if the Broncos won, but I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah, sneaky, but I'll take Baltimore.
Ravens been one of the worst defenses in the league so far this year. Broncos defense is really good. You know, there's a chance the Broncos could sneak up on them, but I think more so this is a bounce back game for the Ravens defense, and they play up to their talent level. I got them winning. Bears versus Cardinals.
I'm going with the upset, the home team. Give me Arizona if it is one.
Give me Chicago. I think they need a bounce back after last week's tragedy.
Yeah, I think they get off on the right foot after the Hail Mary.
I got the Bears winning on the road. Jaguars versus Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, motherfucking fly.
Eagles.
Eagles every single week.
Clean sweep. Eagles.
Yo, you're sick, bro.
Rams versus Seahawks.
I am going with Seattle in this one. Something about losing to Buffalo.
Ramley, we're back, baby.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. Usually we talk about their offense, but I think it's going to be the pass rush that gets it done.
Rams better coach team. Seahawks offensive line, one of the worst in the NFL. Give me the Rams on the road. Lions versus Packers.
I am going with Green Bay in this one.
It just adds to your Lions hating. It's the
I'm
truth.
also a Green Bay hater,
Yeah,
so
give me Detroit.
I'm stuck
Yeah,
here.
I'll take the Lions as well.
Packers without Jair Alexander, Evan Williams. I think that's going to be huge. It's going to be raining a little bit in this game. Lions love to run the ball. I think that favors them. Give me the Lions on the road. Colts versus Vikings.
I'm easily going with Minnesota. Bounce
Give me
back.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
I got the Vikings winning on primetime. Bucks versus Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Lock of the week. Every week I vowed, but it doesn't matter. Give me the Chiefs.
KC wins this.
I got the Chiefs. Now, on to the NBA portion of this podcast. It's not going to be that long.
Before you start, I would love to say, Dehls, I got told in the car that if me and you are silent for a possible argument about these two players, we
You
are
picked
picking
your
the
side.
side,
You
and
picked
that
your
is not
side.
on Drew's side, and he's going to ban us forever. Just want to let you know.
I'm not
So,
banning. I'm just 100%
He's pushing that
keeping
agenda.
track,
Yep.
but we'll move.
So now, I think in the NBA right now, first of all, I want to mention the fans that have been dying for NBA talk on the podcast. We're definitely going to make it more consistent and try to find a way to just make the NBA reactions more consistent for you guys. We'll figure out something. We recently just got a microphone for Dehls to have some good sounding quality at his house. So
Wish
the
I
home,
had a butt, Mike.
the home studios might receive a little boost Next time we're live doing reactions, and I think that's better.
You got the real right.
That shit's tough.
I'm hyped for you.
No, yeah. So we'll be doing that moving forward because we want to talk more about the NBA, but it's still early, so there's not much takeaways. Although there are some.
I can't say Riv for. I'll say like 60% Riv. We're locked in on playback.
60%. I love that number.
All
Thank
right,
you. I
you're
respect
welcome.
that number.
I've been trying to go live every single night on playback, and honestly,
The
it's,
baseball nights were your fault.
but even still, I went live those nights.
No, I'm talking about for me not being there.
You could have went and did it yourself. I've done it by myself.
No, I tried to do it one time. I promise you it didn't go.
I told you I would have did it. I would have helped you do it.
Listen, bro. I'm not blaming myself.
I
You're a
think what it
smart
comes
guy,
down
dude. You
to.
can figure out.
No, he
don't-
likes to play like he's a
No,
dumbass.
Dehls. I was in this shit for 25 minutes trying to figure
Listen,
it
I
out.
think what it comes down to is that you guys are locking in. You guys are locking in on playback. So that's another place where
Facts.
the
You
audience
can
can
find
find you
us.
guys because they'll be watching playback. They'll be watching NBA games on there. So this is, I think, one of the biggest conversations that's happening around the NBA right now, and it's Chet Holmgren versus Victor Wembanyama.
And I hate this conversation because it's forcing you to pick a side on two demons. But damn it, I hate that we're having this argument 5 games in
Interesting.
because it was not a conversation in the offseason. But I'm willing to have it. Let's have this conversation because apparently Wemby does nothing better than Chet, right?
I don't think it's nothing better than Chet. I think there are things that Victor does better than Chet. But I think what's lost in the Chet thing in his rookie year is that he had a pretty historic rookie season. He averaged, 19 points? No, he averaged 16. But on the efficiency that he did it at,
ridiculous.
he was the only player to do it at that efficiency. I think over maybe 64% true shooting percentage, if I'm not
It's
mistaken.
amazing.
I don't know
37%
if
from
Riv
three.
will fact check me.
Yes.
Listen, I think Wemby's going to have the better counting stats than Chet because he plays for the Spurs and there's nobody else that can do anything on the Spurs. And I think that's also a hindrance to Wemby because there are moments where the spacing is awful. They're putting wings on Wemby at first and then having a backline defender.
I need Devin Vassell back.
Everything is just keyed in on him, and Chet, he doesn't have that same level of defensive
64.3
attention.
true shooting.
Yeah, he doesn't have that
nuts.
same level of defensive attention. But at the same time, I think you see these two players and what they do side by side, their skills. I think Chet is a better shooter. I think Chet and Wemby's ball handling is a little bit better. I think Chet is a little bit more fluid of a ball handler. I think he's a better passer than Victor Wembanyama.
This is where he gets it fit.
I'm not
And
having a fit.
When watching the Spurs and OKC game, and it was clear that OKC was trying to take Wemby out the game. But there are also moments where Wemby just has to play better. Like when he's putting the ball on the floor and he's getting it ripped from him. Like there are times where he's not as secure with the ball. And I think that he's a
disagree with that.
fantastic talent. But I think what we're noticing right now is that it is really hard to carry a team. And there are some players that are slapped on with that generational talent mark. Victor Wembanyama being one of them. Zion Williamson was another one of them. And they aren't able to burden that load of the franchise that soon. You look at somebody like Luka Doncic, his second year in the league, the Mavericks didn't have a good roster. They had the #1 offensive rating in NBA history for that time in Luka's second season. And Luka was phenomenal, and they made the playoffs. And he went toe-to-toe with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And I feel like when we think about Wemby, for all the hype that he's gotten, we're expecting him to be that good. But I don't think he's that good yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think Chet right now is making a leap that is kind of similar to Wemby. Like, I think these two are peers. I don't think Wemby is by far and away above Chet. I think they're peers, and I think they should be looked as that.
Anyone else? Go ahead. Please. I would love to hear you, actually.
I want you to
No, I would
rebuttal.
love to hear you.
The last thing I have an issue with is that I don't know why Wemby had minus odds to win DPOY. I feel like they were going to give him the award
we spoke about that. We knew.
Because Duke
Last
could
year
average
came
like
in
fucking 4
second.
blocks.
He came in second his rookie season. And
We know the
ahead.
Defense Player of the Year award.
please, go to
Like,
please,
it's-
Riv. I'm asking you to talk.
It's a crapshoot award. Like
Should
Tim
be
Duncan's
Draymond
never
every
won
year.
it. No, Tim Duncan's never won it.
Bam's never
Ray,
won.
let me ask you
AD's
this.
never
Like,
won.
is Wemby at this point in time a better defender than Evan Mobley?
No,
Is he better than Anthony Davis?
no.
Is he better than Draymond Green right now?
No.
Is he better than Bam Adebayo?
No.
Like, I feel like all these defenders
Gotta say Rudy, but
just kind
Bam
of
hasn't been great to start off.
all those
defensively, he's the same. Offensively,
I feel like all of the players that have been deserving of this award that haven't won it kind of just got put on the back burner. It's like, oh yeah, Wemby's just gonna win it.
but it's the
Like,
guys who
all.
average, like, if you get a shit ton of blocks while also being a great defender, you're probably gonna be in it. Like Giannis is in it, Rudy's in it.
Jaren Jackson won it solely because, well, let me not say solely, that'd be rude to
Mainly,
him.
he gets a
because he was
shit
an
ton
elite
of
shot
blocks.
blocker.
Yeah, like
Wemby's gonna have double what.
Yeah,
Jared did,
defensive player of the year favors to the blockers. There's no shame. Like, nobody's saying Wemby's not great. Is he elite? Probably not. He's like 20 years old, 21 years old. It's okay to not be elite. The conversation that Drew is begging.
I'm not begging. I'm asking you simply to talk.
I think it's interesting. I think this is going to be a conversation that's going to be had for 10 years, whether it's true or not, is one thing. But Chet, they both got drafted to do two different situations. And I think Chet, getting drafted to a good team, nothing crazy, them missing a year, and then him being there, and then them just propelling themselves to a number 1 seed or top 3, whatever it was, seed, them being great in the regular season, dominating and stuff like that. Now this year, coming into the year, Chet's played great so far. It's only been like 5 games, 4 games, or whatever it is. Chet's been playing amazing. And Victor is going to get that tag of he has to, generational talent, you kind of have to carry your franchise. That's, when you get that tag, unfortunately, you have to carry your franchise. And Victor's stuck in this situation in San Antonio where, everything is going to get scrutinized a little bit more because he's gonna be able to show more. Chet is playing with arguably the best guard in the league, probably the best. Well, Luka's a guard, so arguably the best guard in the league. So he has to share that with SGA. Chet is also playing with J-Dub, another guy he has to share with. Also, OKC has a bunch of really good role players that they have to share the sugar with. So as for Victor, he's in San Antonio. It's just him. So a lot of things are going to be shown more. Right. A lot of things are going to be shown more.
How many players
more.
on OKC do you go through till you get to the second best player on the Spurs right now?
Oh, it's a good amount.
Oh my God, so many.
Who's the second best player?
All right, here we go.
Devin Vassell.
I said right now because Devin Vassell's not playing.
Okay, all right.
That's
Who's
what I'm
back
saying.
this
All right.
week.
Who's the second
So
best?
SGA, Chet, J-Dub, Alex Caruso, Dort.
Who was the second? Who have we established?
I guess Chris Paul, right?
Jeremy?
Shohan, okay.
Jeremy Sohan has played well.
He's been all right. He has.
I think he's better than Chris
I'd take all those 5 guys over Jeremy Sohan.
Hartenstein hasn't played.
Hartenstein hasn't played. It can't count.
We have to
because
count this out.
That's what I'm saying. Agreed.
Yeah, we have to count this out.
Kaysen?
Kaysen, you can argue. I can argue
Yeah.
it.
I think Sohan's been playing
Wiggins?
better, but I think Kaysen.
Is that where you go too far? Aaron
Isaiah
Wiggins?
Joe,
Or is that
I
Joe?
contemplate.
Wiggins, where we go too far.
OKC's a by far better team.
Yeah, it's not close.
Yeah, that is,
I
it's
think
not,
that's why you're kind of comparing apples to oranges in a sense because Wemby, we have these arguments all the time when you're looking at a guy who has everything around him and a guy that has to carry everything, right?
Wemby's the better talent for sure.
I do think right now, Chet has made a leap that maybe we knew Chet was going to progress, but Chet has taken a pretty substantial leap
sure.
this season.
Chet's a better number 2 by far.
Yeah, I agree. I do think
he's
he's
a
a better
one.
number 2, but also you have everything around in OKC that makes Chet fucking amazing. Chet, if no one was there, he'd obviously still be really good. But the fact that he had a 64% true shooting percentage, would he do that if he was with the San Antonio Spurs? No, probably not.
I think he's shooting more efficiently than Wemby though.
Maybe I don't know what Wemby's was last year off the top of my head.
What did
I'm
Wemby
not sure.
shoot? Below 30% from 3?
33 second half.
Second half
I think
was
Victor's
better, yeah.
No, for the
one-on-one
whole
game is a lot
season.
better than Chet's.
For the whole season, I'm asking.
But I think we're joking about Chris Paul, but it's true. The big addition the Spurs
33%
made
in the season.
was getting Chris Paul. And no disrespect to Chris Paul, legend, one of the best to ever do it. This is 40 years old Chris Paul who he could pass, he could throw lobs.
He's a really good passer
That's
still.
all Chris Paul's really got right now. It's hard to. He's not a threat when you're running pick and roll. Chris Paul's not really a threat outside of throwing a lob to Wemby, and they picked up Harrison fucking Barnes. So they're just in two completely different situations. I do think Wemby in the long run is gonna be a better player. I just think what he brings, although Chet has similar qualities, I still think Wemby at his size, being a few inches taller, doing everything he could do, is gonna be better in the long run. But as we stand right now, I think calling them peers is fair. Chet has been nothing short of sensational this year, right? In the fucking 1 week sample size we have, Chet's top 10 MVP candidate. That's how dominant he's been. He's been arguably better than SGA for this first week of the season. He's been that damn good. But I think over the long run, I'd still take Wemby. I do see Chet, though, as a number 2 and probably the best number 2 in the league. I see Wemby as top 3 player in the league at one point.
Let me ask you something, Drew. So before the
Let it be known
season,
I haven't spilled. Okay, I'm ready.
So before the season, we talked about Wemby being an All-NBA performer.
Yes.
Do you think? I know it's early in the season still, but who has a better chance of being an All-NBA player this year, Chet or Wemby?
Chet.
Okay.
Very easily.
And it's solely because of the team he's on, but the level he's playing
both.
at
Both.
as well.
Both.
Yeah.
For sure, both. Again, I don't like this conversation because I'm being pigeonholed to disrespect one of these guys. Chet Holmgren has been a star this season. He's been one of the best defensive players, but the leap we've seen him take offensively, the aggression that we've seen out of him offensively is what's moved me the most. Also, as a rebounder, that's also what's impressed me a lot too. Because last season really wasn't as aggressive as a rebounder. Because again, I feel like a lot of his responsibility was blocking shots, and that kind of deters you away from the rim a little bit. But this season, he's really been aggressive in both aspects. Now, all of us can sit here and say shooting off the dribble is harder than shooting off the catch. Agreed? Like, that's pretty consensus. It's harder to create for yourself and shoot and be efficient. So when that becomes the conversation, I can't hear that Chet is a better shooter than Wemby because he's more efficient with his opportunity when he shoots less than him. And a lot of his shooting opportunities come from catch and shoot, which again, I give you credit because you have to make your opportunities. And for a majority, Chet did last season. This season, he hasn't been this amazing three-point shooter. Now, Wemby has not been an efficient basketball player this season. Now, if we want to talk about defense and people are trying to criticize Wemby's defensive IQ, I hate every person that's come to me with that because a lot of them have said that because of him. A lot of them are saying that because, Wemby's defensive IQ is just not as high as Chet. And here's the thing.
Playback?
When we were on playback, he said that. Wemby's IQ is just not that good. And when Riv actually breaks it down, Riv knows basketball. For the people that don't know, that's what actually pisses me off because I try to ask them, explain it to me. Like I'm a 5-year-old, what does that mean to you? So in fairness to Riv, his decision making and when he's deciding to jump to block a shot, his positioning, that's fair. To the regular casual that, you guys don't know. You guys are lying to me if you're like, Wemby's defensive IQ is bad. Because nobody came here last season saying that. Maybe that's what ramps me up the most with the now suddenly Wemby's this overrated defender because his IQ's not that high. I guarantee you, for the rest of his career, Chet will be an amazing defender. He will never sniff a 5x5 in his career. He will never fucking do that.
But that's you think Chet can't do that, bro? 7-3?
5x5. He's done it twice already. He's 3 players in NBA. No. It does not. It does not. But I'm just trying to
saying it's impressive, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. There's only been 3 players in NBA history to do it multiple times. He's one of them already in year 2.
Chet's one of them unicorns.
As an offensive player, Wemby is the better he is the better player. He's more talented on the offensive side. He is a better.
I don't think he's more skillful offensively.
He is. He
No, he's
creates
not.
for himself well more than Chet does. Well more than Chet does.
So looking at this, I mean, you use the shooting off the dribble. Now.
Last year, Wemby was elite off the dribble. If I'm not mistaken, 41%.
He was, but that's not the only facet of basketball, and that's off of 3-point shots off the dribble.
But it's
That's
also
not-
difficulty is what
I
I'm
know
also.
that's difficulty, but I mean, still, who is a better catch and shoot 3-point shooter? It's Chet.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Just
that's a
Pete
skill that he's
Klingen's
better
up
at. Now I'm gonna use this last year's numbers. I'm not gonna use this year's numbers because it's too
5
small of a
games.
sample size. So last year, Chet shot 73% at the rim.
Yeah, makes sense.
Wemby was at 70%. On all mid-range shots, Wemby shot 37%. Chet shot 48% on all mid-range shots.
I feel like
on all
it's hard
3
to compare
Degree of
these
difficulty,
stats, though.
probably.
The difficulty, the
I mean, the
spacing you have
mid-range shot is
around
a
you,
mid-range
the
shot,
attention
though.
you're getting.
Again, on offense, thank you, gentlemen. And this is all I wanted.
Well, who's a better 3-point shooter? Well,
Wemby is the better 3-point
No, he's
shooter.
not.
You're going off of a percentage. Don't lose me.
wait, so all because Wemby is a better
Creator.
because he's a better off the dribble shooter, he's just a better shooter.
Yeah.
Who's a better shooter, James Harden or Klay Thompson?
I was gonna ask that.
But Klay Thompson's also great off the dribble, too.
But James Harden is objectively a way more better
Because
at
he
that than
does it more.
him. Okay, who's a better shooter, Klay or James Harden?
Klay. Not even a
But
conversation.
James Harden is
Dame
shooting
or Klay?
harder difficulty degree of shots.
Because I feel like this is where the conversation is.
Yeah,
Dame or
Dame was a
Klay.
better one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because Dame is just as good both ways.
He is.
He is. Dame's an amazing shooter. I think Dame's one of the best
Prime
3-point
Dame,
shooter of all
Zeke,
time.
Yeah, we're obviously talking about Portland.
I'm nuts
Prime
to
Dame.
say Dame's a better 3-point shooter. I feel
Not
like
at
I'm
all.
I
not.
don't think so. I think a lot of people say he's the
And
second
also
best.
off the dribble, what were Chet's numbers? Do you have that?
Off the top of my noggin, I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't think he
But
did that.
41% when I say that where a lot of the offensive creation for them is give the ball to Wemby, see what he can do with the ball in his hands. Now this season it should be a little bit more different because you do have Chris Paul, and when Vassell comes back, there'll be two guys that do have the ball in their hand and start to play make around him. That's what I hope for. But a lot of it last season was Wemby, here's the basketball, let's see what you can do with it. And more often than not, especially post All-Star break, we saw him be very efficient, but also we saw the counting stats match it too. And people like to say, you can't just say he's 7'5" and shooting 33% is not good. We just, objectively, that's the truth. 7'5", when you can create for yourself like that, and 41% off the dribble, but on almost 8 attempts, you're shooting 33 to 34% from 3. That is impressive.
I think you keep defenses honest, but I still don't think you can classify that a good 3-point shooter.
It's tough though because big men, how many efficient
And also, I think
with that volume outside of Karl Anthony Towns?
mean,
I
you have
think
that
what you're describing right now is actually one of the bigger frustrations that people have with Wemby. Is that he's 7'5" and he's attempting 8 threes a game.
I agree with that, and that's a very fair point. I agree wholeheartedly. I will say his touch around the rim is amazing, though. His finesse, his skill, his post game is great.
Well, that's why he needs to do it more.
But I still think he's trying to find the combination of both, where this season, although it's 5 games, we all went into it with the idea the Spurs are not a play-in team. They're not a playoff team. If this season is a work on my game type deal, because I know I don't have the talent here, what's the one part of my game offensively that needs refinement? Passing. I'll give it to you. I think he's a good passer. I will say it's the 3-point shot. And we started to see it last season progress, but we know he has the touch around the rim. We know he's a dominant force around the rim. He can get that whenever he wants to.
So let me ask you something. The generational tag was slapped on Wemby.
Yes.
Why is it not slapped on Chet? Is it because he's 4 inches shorter?
I think
Is he even
coming
4 inches shorter?
No,
He's 7'1".
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He
But
fucking
Chet is
feels
just a
like-
giant.
He
He's a
feels
giant.
like Chet feels like a
Like,
giant.
what
Here's
about
the thing.
What about their games?
Chet was given that.
Not the same as Wemby.
Not, of course not.
Not the same height,
But
but
it's
he-
not. But my point being is they felt very passionately that Chet Holmgren was an alien himself. Paolo was amazing in the college basketball tournament, just in the season as in general. And honestly, I don't think either team is mad at their decision. I think Paolo is amazing, and what he's been able to do for the Magic speaks volumes. But Chet Holmgren also, on top of him being an alien, is on the second best and arguably the best team in the NBA. I say arguably because you guys are the champion. Of course, you have to give you guys the nod there.
Yeah, want to.
They're perfect. They have everything. And it's unfair of me to go and say, well, if you switch the two, but if you switch the two, Wemby isn't going to be a freak of nature too.
He is.
Wemby's going to have amazing spacing.
I do think Chet just works better as a 2 though than Wemby, and I don't think that's a knock
Why?
against Wemby.
But why?
I think he's better off the ball than Wemby.
Right now, we all agree SGA is better than Wemby.
Chet, yeah.
We all know that. He's better than Chet, obviously.
Yeah.
I still think Wemby would defer to SGA because he knows SGA is the better
Do
player.
you want him to?
Yeah, well, I don't like the conversation
I'm
about
fine
being
with
a
it because
2
SG
or 1.
No.
I think that it doesn't matter, to be honest.
That's not where I'm going with it. Where I'm going with it is there's so much talent on OKC. There's so much spacing on OKC. There's so many great defenders on OKC. I'm not saying that Chet is playing amazing because of that. That's ignorant.
But is there?
It
Great,
helps.
Was it great spacing before Shaq got there? Honestly,
well,
with SGA and Dort in the lineup. If SGA if Wemby goes
Yes.
hypothetically,
Yes.
then you give the ball to Wemby, you're still sagging off SGA, you're still shagging off Dortz. Like I don't think the spacing became what it was because Chet was able to be so efficient from the 3-point line last
Yeah.
year off the catch.
But down the
like
stretch,
J-Dub.
especially,
Yeah, J-Dub too, of course.
especially in the postseason, we didn't see him have that same level of
of course, yeah,
efficiency.
but teams still respected the jumper.
And I don't disagree there, which is kind of goes to what I'm saying, where I agree. Chet definitely gave them that 5-out mentality.
Sure.
But where I say is you put Wemby there, it's a similar mantra. It's similar idea.
I will say I don't think we could just discredit Chet and OKC's leap.
Agreed.
Because they took the
100%.
first seed leap when he came back.
They
and he
took
was
that
healthy.
defensively because of Chet.
Listen, I respect you for trying to use the off the dribble argument. I just don't think that there's enough of a sample size from Wemby taking off the dribble threes that is the only stat that we should hang our hats on when discussing better 3-point shooters.
Why is Chet the better 3-point shooter
Because
then?
I
Because he's
have-
4% efficient?
I have some numbers for you. This is from NBA.com. So this is last season. I already
Of course,
told you.
you have to.
I wasn't going to use these numbers from this season. Catch and shoot 3-pointers. Chet is shooting shot 38.5% from three.
Wemby was 29.
Wemby shot 19% from three on catch and shoot 3-point shots. On pull up 3-point shots, Wemby shot 28.6%. Chet shot 16.7%. Now the 3-point attempts were 0.3 3-point attempts per game for Chet, and for Wemby it was 0.5. Now the stats you're probably
What is
referring
this for? 0.
This is for pull up shooting, pull up threes.
The entirety of last season.
Last season, basically, Wemby's taking 1.8 3-pointers a game, pull up threes per game.
Probably
Versus
got more as the season
yeah,
went on.
versus Chet was 0.3. So Wemby did take more of those shots. Now, I think the off the dribble shooting comes from multiple dribbles. So looking at NBA.com, like when you can split and track, like when you can track the shooting numbers, you can see how many dribbles they take. So when Wemby's taking 3 to 6 dribbles, his 3-point percentage is 66.7%. When Chet is taking 3 to 6 dribbles, his 3-point shooting is 60%. So Chet on those same type of dribble type
level.
shots was a
How many
similar
attempts
shooter.
are these guys doing? 66% off 3 to 6
I don't
dribbles.
need
Yeah.
your big, I
That
don't
has
need
to be
your
a
big
small
ass.
Chet
shit.
was 0.1,
Okay.
and Wemby was 0.8. So they both
So
did
1 to 0.
So they both didn't attempt much
we
of these
round
shots
over here.
a game. That's
0.1 is almost nothing.
that's why I don't think that the shooting argument should be based off the dribble numbers. Then we get into the 2-point shooting. Chet Holmgren, from Wemby as a 2-point shooter, 2-point field goal percentage, pull-ups was 57.1% on 1.18 attempts a game. Chet, it was 48.1% on 1.3 2-point field goal attempts.
That's still pretty fucking good. 48%.
Oh, deep.
Yeah, I mean,
Wemby is just-
57
Like
is
I'm just looking at
ridiculous.
these two players, and I think that
I just think the
skill
shooting-
sets are very similar.
I don't disagree.
And I think Chet right now, you can argue, is a bit more refined in those areas.
he also did have an extra year where he was injured.
yeah,
he wasn't in the
that
league.
counts. That's fair. I think that's
I
definitely
just
fair.
think when it comes to shooting,
I think two things can be true. I think they could have similar skill sets, and you can think one is just way ahead in the skill set department. So they're both aliens.
like to say that Chet's smarter than Wemby right now, I'm not
yeah,
against
he
that.
was like that in college. Like at
Chet is
Gonzaga. He was-
is one of the smarter defenders in the league.
Yeah, he's
Does
OD.
that by any means mean that Wemby isn't? No, and I'm not saying that's what you're
No,
saying,
no,
of course. But again, how smart Wemby is in the lanes, how great he is as a shot blocker. He already is in conversation for the best shot blocker in the league.
I think more than anything, it just shows that we probably were just too low on Chet. Like the fact
Fair.
that like I don't think this should be taking Wemby down any, like saying about anything about his generational tag. Like Wemby, what we thought about Wemby entering the draft, entering the season is the same. I think we just were too low on Chet because for whatever reason, whether it's because he's playing with SGA or because Wemby came in the year after and he's
Yes.
4 inches taller and he got all the hype. I think we're just too low on Chet because he's showing this year he could do all of this shit too.
Maybe
I
we
think
picked
it's
the wrong guy to
perfectly
make
said.
a leap. We was thinking J-Dub.
No
Maybe
cap.
it was Chet.
And now it's
cap.
pretty fucking clear. Chet is the number 2 on this team.
J-Dub's been playing good too.
Yeah,
It's just
no disrespect to-
Chet
no
has
respect to
been
J-Dub.
But then it
insane.
could, like, I don't want to jump to, because it's 5 games in. It could change 10 games down the road, 15 down the road. Like,
I know, but I think what Chet brings you defensively.
yo, he's going to be
the-
that guy.
The baseline
on
is
defense.
so high for his
But
being
it's
number
so
2.
important to keep that front line defender up. Like, J-Dub's a good defender. Dort's a good defender. Like, if you,
fucking 8 of them.
yeah, if you don't have
you
those
seen their
guys,
defensive rating?
oh no, they're
80
nuts.
was
It's
88
ni-
or
is it
so?
80? I thought it was
It's something stupid,
right
yeah.
now it's like 92.
No, they're so suffocating. It's ridiculous. You
And
know
they
who's
try
third?
really hard.
You know who's third?
Yes, you guys.
Yeah.
No, you guys are 2.
Well,
Cavs
What do you
are
think
3.
about Josh
no.
Giddey?
Oh.
Cavs are 3.
Josh
You guys
Giddey's
are 2.
fucking stroking the shit out of the ball.
Yo, he's playing nice.
You guys as a whole are like top 5 and
I'll
3s,
try to
top
tell you.
3, something
Brother,
crazy.
you really want
I
to
tried
go
to
down?
tell you
improved?
about Giddy.
Oh, God.
We still got the jersey out here. You know, we got the
Somebody
jersey
actually
out here.
asked me for that. You
No,
think
it's a classic.
You
You
think
gotta
this
look it
last
online.
30 games? Honestly, tell me the truth.
I think Josh Giddey is a good player.
Okay.
I think he is. I mean, second year with OKC,
You have
his averages were good.
What's moving me is your ball movement. Like your ball movement's been amazing.
Brother, he wasn't good the second year. It's okay. I know
I
the
feel
stats
like he
look
was good. I
No,
feel
you
like the
didn't.
lineup data is kind of against him.
No, now you're trying to
I
change up
still
what
think
you're saying.
that he had some great performances.
He did.
Yeah.
You can have great performances and not have an overall good year.
And I think, with a player like him, he has to have the ball to make decisions.
And he's
with
just not good enough to
Yeah,
have the
you
ball.
just don't want
I mean,
to have an
no,
offense.
because you have SGA.
I mean, even
Kobe
J-Dub.
White, you have Zach Levine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think he's a better decision maker with the ball than Kobe White.
Yeah, Kobe White's more of a scorer. I've always said
sure,
Kobe White is more of a scoring guard coming out. He's
with
not
that
a
being
point
said,
guard.
I'd rather have Kobe White have the ball.
Like I think Josh Giddey is gonna play really well for the Bulls.
I think the numbers are gonna look nice because we're a shit. Well, they're a shit team. Let me not even say we. They're a shit team.
But they've been scrappy so far. Like
Yeah,
they've
but
been tough
shooting a lot
in
of
every
threes.
game.
here's the thing, and this is what it's unfortunate. Bad teams play good at the beginning of the year. That's been a thing in our league for since we've been here. Let me just say, since we've been in this podcast, bad teams play good. Whether it's the
So you're
Utah
saying
Jazz,
the Nets aren't gonna be nice this year?
Wizards
Hell
play
no.
well a couple years
Wizards
back.
a couple years ago, people were thinking they were like 18 and 12. People thinking, oh, Bradley Beal leading the playoffs. No, Utah last year they were good up until like fucking January. Then they
been
fell
terrible
off.
this
Like teams just typically these bad teams catch you by surprise. They play hard, they play tough, and then you
Shout out
start to
to
see the
Dennis
cracks
Schroeder,
and all that. But Chicago's playing well.
Are the Rockets one of those now? Would you say that they're one of
No,
them?
Rockets are a good team.
I only asked that because Rockets historically haven't. I think they are a good
They've
team.
had their ups and downs to start. But
I agree.
I think they'll get it going.
So now I don't think this would take too much time, and if it doesn't, maybe we could we'll talk about stars that might be making a leap.
I don't want to be a prick. I may have to go.
You want to just do this last one?
Yes, because
Maybe
I
like
want to
10
talk
minutes.
about Ryan Dunn. Go ahead.
Okay. Projecting rookies that will make the biggest impact this year on their respective teams. Your top 3 lists, what are they?
Now, number 1, Ryan
We
Dunn.
going 1-1-1.
I'm cool with that.
Ryan Dunn's plus 1,200 to win.
Yo, Ryan Dunn,
year.
he changed. I don't know what happened this offseason. He was nothing like this in
He's a
college.
super-
It's
Stroker
just
now.
amazing to understand I'm going into an amazing situation. I have a chance to make a significant impact. I need to learn one thing. I need to learn how to sit in a corner and
We
shoot
need
the
to
ball.
find whoever his coach was.
Yeah, who knows?
Yo,
Kevin
I
Durant,
swear to God, that shit gives me goosebumps. He's been a dog.
No, it's insane.
Kevin Durant said that Ryan Dunn went to the Kevin Durant School of Academy or the Kevin Durant
That
Academy.
shit was funny.
Then Ryan Dunn on the side was like, no, I didn't attend any of the academy. I don't know what happened with Ryan Dunn's shot. He's my number 1 as well. I think he's a dark horse to win Rookie of the Year. He's been so impactful for the Suns.
I don't know. He's plus 1,200. I put $20 on that last night.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think
that's good.
1,200 because I think they are acknowledging the defensive impact of another player we're going to mention.
Yeah, so Ryan Dunn, I don't know what happened, how he worked on his jump shot. It reminds me a lot of Jaden Daniels, and he talked about how one of the things that has made him improve come into the NFL is that Jaden Daniels, he practices and trains with a VR headset. And
seen
all
that
the
article, yeah.
things in this VR headset, they put in all his plays. You see the NFL defenses. So this is virtual reality, and that has helped Jaden Daniels out. Who knows what type of process Ryan Dunn goes through. Probably it's just a lot of hours of hard work. But I think the Suns are finding something, and him now being added to the mix and being such a reliable piece for them this early into the season is great for them. I mean, if the Suns can flip one of these shorter shooters, because I think right now they have 2 of them, Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen do the same things. I think one of them has to go to bring in another center. I think we can talk about Phoenix seriously. But right now, the center position sucks so much for them that I can't entertain any conversations.
They would
with
kill
them.
for DeAndre Ayton back.
I think they would kill for like Daniel Gafford.
I do look at that that DeAndre Ayton trade, and I hate that they did it every day.
It wasn't that good of a trade for them.
It wasn't that good of a trade, but I understand at that time we had Frank Vogel.
Do you think they
There
ever
was
get KD though, and all them boys?
They still would have without the Ayton trade, yeah. Because
They had him on the
Ayton
team.
trade happened after.
Oh
They
shit!
had.
Right.
I only say that because Grayson was a good addition.
Wait, wasn't Aiden a part of the deal to
no,
get KD?
he wasn't.
No,
He wasn't. It was Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, 4 first-round picks.
Oh, so Aiden was playing.
Correct.
with KD.
Let me ask you
Wow,
something.
My memory's fucked.
Jess, we've been watching the Suns a lot, and obviously she's a big Suns fan. She told me this. She said that I think Ryan Dunn can be better than Mikal Bridges was for us. What do you think about that?
has a long way to go as an offensive player for that to be the case. He can be a better defender. He can be a better
Does he
defender.
have a long way to go?
That
Offensively,
version of Mikel, like the
the
Suns
peak
version.
version.
I mean,
The
Mikel
Suns
was
version.
the peak version of
16?
Mikel's Suns.
That was the year like the year they won 60 games. I think he was like at 13 and a half.
I thought it was 16.
I thought it was 16 too.
I don't think it was
I can
that
search
year.
it
I think
up.
that was the year after.
Okay.
His last year with Phoenix before he got
I don't know if
traded, he
Ryan
was
Dunn's
making
ever gonna average 16.
I don't think he needs to.
So Mikel
Well,
Bridges.
with this team, no. He shouldn't. First of all, he
So
shouldn't.
Mikel Bridges, the best 2 years of Phoenix, 13.5 points, 14.2.
Yeah.
And then his last year in Phoenix,
Yeah, I
17
figured
points.
it wasn't nothing
Fair
crazy
enough.
because they had Chris Paul, they had Devin Booker, they had Ayton, Cam Johnson. I think Devin was giving you like 27. Chris Paul was still an all-star. You had Ayton, and then you had Cam
Well, it's
Johnson.
kind of funny. Like, in a way, the Suns kind of got another version of Mikel Bridges, if you think about it.
For sure.
With Ryan Dunn and
And they
what
got
he's
him with a
offering.
lick
He's
of
a lot.
draft pick.
I feel like he's physically bigger
Yes.
than
Most
Mikel
definitely.
Bridges.
Yeah.
Mikel Bridges was a little bit thin. I think he's
He's
a little bit more
broad.
athletic too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's the thing. Like you've gotten a bigger version of Mikel, and maybe he doesn't have the same pin down mid range or shit like that. It doesn't need it.
You don't need
Doesn't
that when you
need
have
to just be
Book.
ready to shoot. Be ready to cut when you need to cut. Be ready to get the ball, dunk, lay the ball, do shit like normal role player shit. If you can do that, the defense keeps being elite. That's all you need to do.
1,000%.
Yeah. No, Ryan Dunn's been the most impactful rookie. I feel like there's a pretty big drop off, honestly, once after that.
I'll be honest. Listen, and you're not saying the name that I'm going to say. I have two. So
How do you think? Why do you think I'm not going to say the
are
name?
you going to say Sar? No.
Alex? Oh
Yeah.
fuck no.
His defense
been
has
good.
been
He's been good
incredible.
No, I'm not.
defensively.
I'm not.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
just think
came
Ryan
out wrong.
Dunn, in terms of impact, the way he's playing, and also on a winning team.
I'm thinking West Coast, Jalen Wells.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Team that wants to compete. They're missing their roster. I'm not even about to say it. They're missing everybody.
He played. Desmond Bain was out last game. He stepped in. He was really
even
good
before
at 60
that.
points.
Marcus Smart went out. He jumped in.
Yeah, he
He's
got
just
hurt,
been
facts.
such bringing in that energy. Hitting the 3-ball, being able to defend, full court defense. And Memphis, what I love about Memphis and what they're doing is to kind of combat their bad half court offense. They're just running. Like transition, getting out fast, getting the ball out
got
fast.
fucking John
Running
Moran.
2 point guards and Ja and Scotty, 3 6'10" to 7 foot bigs and Santi, Huff and Jaren Jack. They're running out those type of lineups and just running, getting out in transition, getting out fast. But Jalen Wells, for me, I think he's not just doing what Ryan Dunn is doing at the same level, but he's in terms of just, giving that effort on the team that wants to make the playoffs. And then my third guy was a guy on the same team as who you were thinking, Keyshawn George.
Yep.
I think he's another guy that's just wing type of defender, able to, hit backdoor cuts. And he's been really important for the ball movement in Washington. He's been a solid on-ball player too. And I think Washington, they're in a position where they need to hit on damn near every pick they make, right? At this
Dave
point.
low key
Bub
and
Carrington.
cooking.
I was going to
yeah,
say,
bro.
Bub Carrington's was on this list too.
Bilal's been a savage.
Below, yeah.
Yeah,
Sar's been a defensive menace this season.
That's kind of it.
Bub Carrington
Bub
has not
Carrington's-
played bad.
5 games.
But then I can say the
All
same
of
thing
these
about
guys are 5
OD.
games.
Yeah.
You just said
Jalen
they've
Wells
hit on
is 5 games.
No, I'm
you said
saying
they've
Bilal. Bilal's
hit.
hitting.
Yeah, that's one.
But
They
Sar's
missed on-
defense has been a.
They missed
Bub
on Johnny
Carrington's
Davis.
efficiency has been stupid.
Agreed.
They traded Denny
but we're
Avdia.
going off the last 2 years.
Oh, I can't say they hit on
Bub
draft picks that played
Carrington
5 games.
is averaging 10, 4, and 4, shooting 50% from 3.
No, Bub is nice. I just can't say they hit on a pick that's,
But you also
5
just
games.
mentioned Keyshawn
Because we're
George.
talking about who's playing well now.
Bub's also playing like 25 minutes a night.
No, yeah, Bub
like
is playing
he's getting
amazing.
real
So
burn.
all these players that the Wizards have hit on, is their win total something that we have to reflect back on? It was like 18.5 coming into the
How
year.
many wins do they have right now?
Do you think that they can win 20 games?
How many wins are they at right now? Is a
what I was
great
about to
question.
say.
Is this a
They
20
should have 2. They
game,
beat
20 win
Atlanta
team?
twice. I don't know how many they have after that. They beat Atlanta twice, though. I know that.
Bilal Coulibaly has been awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I like Bilal.
Yeah.
Last rookie I want to shout out though, Jonathan Mogbo. From
Wizards are 2-2.
Toronto. He actually has played so well. He made his way into the starting rotation. He's been amazing defensively. That's really what's been exciting me the most. The fact that he's cracked the starting rotation already, he's been active in the lanes, great shot blocker. The defensive output's really what's gotten him to the point where he's able to start for the Raptors. Very interested to see about him. But one of those that he was a late first round pick, if I'm not mistaken, was he pick 30? 29, one of those late first round picks. He's been shining early on. I'm excited to see what he has going on because they need a defensive presence, especially after trading Pascal. he's been answering the call.
Yeah,
two
two
other-
of those Raptors rookies. Sorry, does Jamal Sheed as well. He's been playing some good
And
defense.
second-year player, I think Grady Dix looked really good this year.
Yeah.
Coming back from last season where
cap.
he's been
He's been
injured,
awesome.
kind of inconsistent. He's been really good. Two other guys I had, Dalton Connect for the Lakers. I think just impact-wise, he's going to be used a ton off the bench. And we were worried, still maybe rightfully so, Pelicans big man. Misi's
that.
been really solid.
He
so
has
far.
been.
He's
He
still
has
playing like
been.
20 minutes a night. The stats, obviously, he's not going to average like fucking
are
20 and 10, but he's giving you like
saw what
9 and
happened?
7, playing 20 minutes. But they're just
Herb and
super
CJ?
banged up now. Herb's banged up. They have a shit ton of injuries.
see
And
Zion the other
Zion,
night?
Zion
Get put in the
has,
box?
I don't know what's going on with Zion. Zion
didn't
has
see
not
that.
been
You didn't see
himself
Zion
so
get
far.
put in the
I have
box.
to watch.
You
What
need to
game?
watch what Draymond did to him.
Oh,
Bro, he
okay.
shot like 30% inside
Brother,
the
it
restricted
was
area or some crazy
Alcatraz.
shit.
Okay.
No,
I
it was
remember
ugly.
one
It
time
was
you
really
told me in the
ugly.
podcast, Draymond can't guard Zion.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Did I say that? Pull the
Yes.
clip then.
That's so long ago.
That's Santos.
But I'll let you know that Draymond had him in a fucking box.
Okay.
Bad.
All right. Good for
Yeah,
him. Draymond's all-time great.
Yeah. They had
There's-
BI and Zion and lost both games.
There's a lot of impactful rookies. I think Dalton Connect, you can't overlook what he's doing in the spacing he's brought to LA. I think AJ Mitchell with OKC.
He's solid.
Very surprised that he's been cracking the rotation like he has.
Where the hell is Reed and
They play their
Dylan-
starters so many fucking minutes.
Dylan Brooks
Houston.
is also
There's really
been
no
really
opportunity.
impactful.
no Rob, no
I thought Rob would
Reed?
play a lot
I mean,
more.
even Dillingham, I think the Rob Dillingham's playing time, I think got affected a lot by the Dante trade.
I'm
I
not
think
good, but
once
if
Dante got traded, it was over.
Dante has a long leash. Don't get me wrong. He's not been able to shoot the ball so far.
No.
You know what I mean? So obviously you're going to give Dante 20 plus games and not going to
Houston
pull
just
him.
plays their starters so many minutes. Like it's up and down.
They're
So,
like 9-10 deep.
they
Last
have a
thing
lot
I
of
want to
dudes.
say, because I know I do have to go soon. Is Sengun overrated?
He's having a slow start to the season.
It's only like 6 games. Less than that, I think.
Jan-
But
Green's been
every
outplaying.
first half, he's awesome. Second half, he forgets how to play basketball. I'm exaggerating for a point, but it really is Jalen Green time come fourth quarter. It's
Green's
really
been hooping.
insane. Like
That's
I
how
don't.
it should be, though.
I think that's how it should be, but it shouldn't be that Sengun goes ghost and he's not doing anything.
there's moments when they bench him.
No, yeah. There are moments where he just really hasn't been able to keep up with the pace. I think Jalen Green is the shot creator, though. I mean, it's no
Jalen Green
different.
has me fucking coming. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it.
Well, it is a big difference, but it's just trying to compare two styles. Like with Jokic and Jamal, especially in the playoffs, we saw Jamal be more of the initiator, shot creator late
You've
in
never
games
benched
sometimes.
Joker ever, though.
No, of course. I'm not saying it's like a 1-to-1 comparison.
Riv, those shorts are so fucking high.
No, I know. But
You guys
I'm
have never
saying
seen this before?
I've
Staring.
seen this, but I
Staring
can't.
at
You're
this
right in
shit.
front of me.
Come on, bro. We play ball. You've seen me do this, man.
no, but I think usually the
seen him
perimeter
Bro,
that what
wants
you
to
said?
see beef. That's
No, it's completely
exactly
opposite
what
of
he
I'm
said, bro.
saying.
the perimeter player usually is going to initiate the offense more so than the big man. And I think Sengun has to play better. He's been rebounding well. He's still been playmaking. He just has to be more efficient around the basket and just hopefully hit that outside shot
and
more
give
consistently.
better effort on the defensive side of the ball, Joel.
There's been some effort on defense. I don't think that's really been the main issue for him. I think he shows effort.
Yeah. I mean, the effort must stink.
His shot
doesn't.
His shot diet. I don't know. I don't love
You
seeing
saw
him
he
take
did
that post fade.
the Dirk shot and airball.
Airballed it.
Bro, there's moments
That's
where
really
I'm
funny.
watching the Rockets play and I'm like, bro.
Last year that shot was hand for him.
I'm gonna be real. I've watched like every Rockets
it's
game.
like,
I
he's not.
hate
He's just not a
the
good
fourth
defender.
quarter
He's,
Sengun
it's
minutes.
bad, bro. Like, why are you running out lineups where Dylan Brooks is at the 5 against a 7-5 center?
I don't. They almost lost last game. They almost lost against the Mavs because of Fred and because of him. They lost against the Hornets opening night because of him. Even though he was a dog in the first half, they lost because of him down the stretch.
So let me ask you
That's
guys
my
this,
only concern with him.
this
Just gotta
final
pick it up.
question
Just gotta pick it up.
before we go. Before the season, doing the West predictions, it's very early, right? So not gonna overreact too much, but right now it looks like the Lakers, looks like the Suns, looks like the Warriors are gonna be really good. So what does that mean for the standings of the West if those 3 teams are really good?
If this is an overreact session, the Nuggets are done. They're bad.
They'll make the playoffs.
they'll make the playoffs,
The
of
Pelicans
course.
probably cooked.
No, but I
That's-
had them
that's
as
where
my
the-
11th seed. I
Okay,
wasn't
I
even
didn't-
thinking
I didn't
What
know
about the
that.
Grizzlies? Where do the Grizzlies and the Kings?
The Grizzlies are overrated.
Ooh.
They're a
They're
little
just
overrated.
super injured. Super injured.
The offense is
terrible
still
take.
no. They're overrated. They're overrated. Offensively, you don't know what you're going to get from them, and that's
So they're not healthy.
That's the biggest
that's
issue.
it. Then
bro.
that's number one.
I wouldn't say they're overrated. I mean, you can say about the Lakers defensively, they're ass.
And that's not being overrated though. I think that's just not common knowledge.
I wouldn't say. I think Memphis is in a tricky spot because they have to roll out a different lineup every single game.
Yeah.
But I think once they're healthy, and you kind of know that their 5 is going to be Ja, Bane, Smart, Jaren, Edie, right? Then you have Vince, GG, you have Santee, you have Scottie Pippen Jr., and then either Brandon Clark or Jalen Wells. That's a good ass 10. Like I don't see how that's an over 18. But it also depends on where do you think they would be. Like I think we all think they're a playoff team, nothing more. Maybe they could sneak a first round.
I think they're one of the strongest playing teams.
Oh no, I think they could
Playoff means top 6 in my opinion.
Nah, I mean by technicality, yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
think
Grizzlies are kind of a playing team, yeah.
You know
by
what I mean?
technicality, like I don't look at a 7. Like if you're a 7 seed, right, and you have the same record as a 6 seed. I can't sit here and say you're a playing team. I mean, technically, yeah.
Fair.
But you are right there with the 6 seed and the 5th seed.
Let me ask you something. Grizzlies or Suns?
Suns. They have more shot makers.
Suns.
Grizzlies or Lakers?
Lakers right now.
Grizzlies or Mavericks?
Mavericks.
Grizzlies or OKC?
Okay, the tougher one is the Kings.
I don't think that's that tough.
Grizzlies or Minnesota?
Conversation.
It's a conversation.
I think it's a conversation.
Okay. I thought that was going to be a given.
Why is that a
5-10
conversation?
You don't know what Randall you're going to get.
I think Memphis defensively.
Randall's been awesome.
I agree, but
I think regular season
it's
Minnesota's
Randall's
won
a
a lot of
two-time
games.
NBA player.
Stop.
I think Memphis defensively.
You shit
can
talk
get Ant
Pascal
Fitz.
all the time, and he's an All NBA
Ja,
player.
you mean?
Stop.
No,
Julius
get
has
Ant
more
Fitz.
on
Minnesota.
NBA.
I think Memphis defensively, you have Jaren at the rim. That could be a problem for Ant. You know, I think they have a pretty swarming defense. I think they'll be able to get out and move. They'll make Rudy a little bit uncomfortable with that constant transition movement. I don't think that's as easy as Minnesota wipes them. Like I think
Who's the Ant stopper on that team?
I'm
I
taking
don't think
Minnesota.
I don't think they have an Ant stopper, but I think they have a rim protector that can, give Ant some trouble at the rim. I think Memphis is the underdog, but I wouldn't be surprised if they win.
Yeah.
Now
I mean,
and
to be
then-
fair, we look at Minnesota in the playoffs last year. They didn't really go up against. I mean, you're talking about the Suns in round 1. Talking about Denver in round 2. Jokic was not great.
It was really just
defensively.
Dallas.
It looks
Dallas.
shitty now, but Grizzlies are the Nuggets.
Nuggets, please.
No, I would take the Joker over.
Taking the joke.
So-
Take the Joker over
reluctantly.
Feature.
So and then Grizzlies versus the Warriors.
Warriors looking
Warriors
good.
look
They're doing
awesome.
They're doing without Steph.
The
last
defense
couple
is what
games.
surprised me the most. Maybe that's a casual
I
of
have
me.
to see them against better competition.
I
That's
agree.
fair.
Because if even if you take out Minnesota and they're not in that conversation, or it's more of a debate,
I can see when Buddy
that's like
Hield's not
6-7
shooting
teams
60%.
Yo,
Yeah,
right
but
there.
here's a
but-
great question: Clippers or Memphis?
Clippers can't score.
I would
That's
still
the
take
problem.
Memphis.
But you're not.
Clippers have been awesome.
No, they have
But you're
been,
not
but-
asking me. You're asking me about playoff series. I don't think they're a high playoff team.
No, we're
I'm
talking
just
about
talking
regular
about just
season.
seedings.
Seeding. This conversation
Yeah.
changes mightily. I thought you were saying in a playoff series.
No, I'm just talking about seeding. Like
like seeding.
that's
Bro.
why I look at the Grizzlies more as a playing team.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then I take back a lot of yes.
Yeah.
Damn. Then I don't. It's a few teams.
Wait,
I
so
don't
you
know.
think Grizzlies are a better seed than the Suns?
What are they? 4-2 right now?
Like I think the Suns, Lakers, Minnesota, Denver,
OKC,
OKC,
for sure.
all of Dallas, all objectively finished with a better record than Memphis.
How can you? I don't know. Objectively, maybe. I mean, the
Kings can finish with a better record.
Phoenix. I can't say Phoenix was a borderline playing team last year. The Lakers were a playing team last year. Sacramento was a playing team last
But
year.
both of
Suns
those
won
teams look
49
better.
games.
I think Memphis, the same way how for the Suns, they got a new coach. They got a couple new pieces. Memphis is getting all their guys back, hopefully. And they got a little bit better offseason wise. Suns, Sacramento, they just brought in DeMar. We could probably say the same thing with Memphis. They're bringing Ja back, getting back, all that. So, all these teams are going to be in a hustle for each other. I can't say just outright, the Memphis is going to have Sacramento's going to have a better record. The Lakers
No,
will
I
have
think
a better
that's a
record.
debate.
Yeah, I think there's a few debates in like Minnesota. I can't just outright say that, they're going to have a better record.
But can you also see the Grizzlies just finishing with the 10 seed?
Yes. I think it's both ways, for sure. They're so banged up right now.
It's
I'm
going to be
surprised.
close. Like 10
Yeah,
seed and 60 could be a 3-game
Like
difference.
last year, 2 years ago, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Clippers were 6, 7, 8, and they had the same record.
Yeah.
Like it was
Literally last
year-
season.
Yeah, last year it was 5, 6, 7, 8 were like 2 or 3 games apart. So I don't see the whole. Oh,
made a
this
good
team could
point
be
there.
high. Yeah, it just we've seen in the West, the 6, 7, 5, 8, they all be like 2 or 3 games apart. I don't know if I can predict that to not happen again this year, personally.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast, episode 423. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.